with the first possession, and then Bailey just hacks it off a step inside 50. Day caught at the back on this occasion. Barris doing well, and Impey failing to keep it in. So drama early. Have a look at this, boys.
Yeah, Ginnivan and Zorko going as expected. They played over each other before. Just a little one across the chops. Not across the chops, so at the top of the chest there. Interesting at the other end as well. James Sicily on Charlie Cameron.
Warple with the first clear possession for the Hawks, sends it down the outer wing, and there is Ginnivan and Zorko. And immediately Ginnivan looking for contact right in front of Alistair Lynch.
A couple of other interesting matchups. Starcevic on Watson. Such a dangerous player when Hawks can get the ball over the top. And Josh Battle, who's been in excellent form against Logan Morris. What a matchup that is.
Subs tonight. James Tunstall for Brisbane. Luke Bruce for the Hawks. Meek and Fort. Meek has a second crack at it. And then Archie just slams it on the boot. Bouncing ball and out of play.
See Cal Archie starting up the ground the wing tonight. Looking for a bit of experience here. Jared Berry out of course with that shoulder injury last week.
Glorious day in Brisbane today, 24 degrees. Light dew on the ground, no breeze to speak of, and a packed house.
Hawthorn.
Big kick going the way of the Hawks. Umpire actually pointed in the wrong direction. So we go the way of Meek. He's got the runner, Amon. They love his use off half-back alongside Impey. To Warple, the two number 5s battle. He gets away from Dunkley. Back inboard. Back to Amon. Massages the ball forward. It's effective to Newcomb.
He's got this distance. If he can't find a target, he'll go back and carry the line. But the initial run from Amon was on the skinny side. To be able to, the Lions chock up the corridor so well. To be able to get that run and carry, the Hawks went skinny, get it to the users and get the ball moving. Good play.
He want to show off in front of his grandfather, who's just sitting over there in that pocket. Benny.
Match 99 for John Newcomb. 9 goals for the season, right on his distance. From about 52 metres out, makes good contact. Newcomb hits it sweetly and just drifts to the left.
So Zorko gets a touch of the leather. 300th match, what a start. And straight down the throat of Leicester, who plays on quickly.
Got to watch this early. You see they cut Fremantle apart last week, the Lions.
Lohman, Leicester, Will Ashcroft. Kick towards forward 50. Day trying to work his way to the front. Sicily did pretty well. Over the top he goes. D'Ambrosio aiming inboard. And then along the boundary, Impey. And leading out, Chol up the ground, Big Barbior. Now he's got an aggressive kick here towards centre half forward. He was hoping for Ward, but it's been over-clubbed. Bailey doing well with Archie across half back.
Immediately goes in the middle. Wilmot, he's got the runners in. Bailey runs into trouble himself. Ward's got defensive work to do again on Archie. Drives it forward, Lohman back in the side, but he's kicked it straight to Sicily.
The skipper match 176. Short pass, not good enough. Coughed it up. Heavy contact. It's going to be a free kick going to Brisbane. So they'll have their first foray deep inside 50 here by the looks of it. McCluggage. Such a pivotal player. Keeps it low. Cameron.
This is exactly what Brisbane needs. They need Charlie Cameron firing early. Remember, he ripped Hawthorn apart in round 11 in a 5-minute period. So it doesn't look like he's got a direct matchup tonight with James Sicily starting on it. I wouldn't expect that to be his matchup. This time Hardwick's on him.
So he kicked 3 last week, Charlie. He's 250th from 45 metres out. And it's going to hit the post.
Just looking at the live ladder, like with that post, Hawthorne have gone from 3rd to 7th. It's just amazing. Like, we've only kicked 2 points for the game, so it's on a nice edge, isn't it?
You know what you'll be watching for the next 100 minutes.
Aim on to the near side. Fisk came from behind, only as far as Moore. Here's a ball to be won. Bailey over the footy to Fort. Gets the hands above the tackle. Rebel tries to take on a couple of Hawks. One's Meek. Can't get through.
Bailey looks lively early, Bucks.
Just that square-up kick from Marby or Chol as well. How many Lions there were through the corridor? It was 5 to 1. So they're going to roll up and down the corridor, try and outnumber there. Hawthorn are going to try and get around with their use.
Bailey off the ground might be good enough as Day tries to paddle it to himself. Fort has to go in. And then Revel. It's going to just pierce one towards Morris. Couldn't juggle it.
Just joining us, Tunstall is the sub coming into the side, and Luke Bruce, who becomes the third greatest game player for the Hawks, with just Lee Matthews and Michael Tuck in front of him. Meek and Fort. Meek gets front position. Down towards Giath.
You see here Archie, who's on the wing, has come back to play as a defender, which releases Starcevic as the +1 deep for the Lions. Very wary of Hawthorn's ability to break hard forward, especially from their back half when the field is so long. They love running long into those spaces.
Former's at the back. Bailey snaffled it, runs away with it, and then bangs it into the woodwork again.
Ordinary accuracy so far. That's been a problem for the Brisbane Lions this season, except for a couple of road wins. We can tidy that up tonight against a very good team.
And good on the road. They struggle to touch it home, the Lions. So a couple of let-offs for the Hawks. The battle looks to exit the area. McCluggage with a heavy bandage on his left knee into Ashcroft. And again, it's wide this time of everything, no score.
Ashcroft started at half forward with Bailey in the first centre bounce. It'll be interesting to see how long that lasts. Maybe looking for a little bit of speed out of the middle.
As Howie mentioned, for a side that prides itself at home this year, 6 wins and 4 losses at the Gabba. Meek works his way to the front, couldn't quite drag it down. Andrews to Archie, tumbling ball. Cameron wanted a free kick, and then Sicily tried to keep his hands off and eventually goes through for a behind. Charlie's keen early.
To the eye, that was a missed free kick. Interested in the replay.
Inside 56-2 the way of Brisbane. This is the way the Dogs started earlier on against the Dockers, who came home hard. Sicily off one step, launches to the outer side, lone and well played Hardwick. Gets the job done constantly for the Brown and goal. Down the line ball, Gunston against his former side. Plays it nicely, steps forward. D'Ambrosio on the outer wing, looks for options now. It's a dangerous setting area to Chol! And Big Marbiot with strong mitts marks.
Yeah, good. Had the height advantage over Ryan Lester there. So Gunston's match-up's Darcy Gardner, but well done there by Chol. He didn't just stand on the top of the goal square, which would have brought ordinary kick there by Ashcroft. A good kick by D'Ambrosio. Just gets it out in front of the taller man. Good stretch.
Lester normally plays on these third tall, key tall types, so it's not an abnormal matchup for him. But I love the Hawthorn 4 talls, because they're not really 4 talls. They move really well. They give ground level support as well.
Good numbers for the season for Chol. 36-16. Starts left, eases it back, and the Hawks kick the opener in enemy territory.
Well done, good build-up. This is a problem for the Lions against Sydney a fortnight ago here at this ground, where Sydney just moved the ball far too easily from one end of the ground to the other bunch.
Yeah, look, and that's the initial pressure. So Sydney were prepared to run and carry and rebound off half-back, and Brisbane missed a lot of tackles that night, couldn't get enough frontal pressure to be able to stop the end-to-end use. This one was probably a little bit more controlled by Hawthorn to be able to get... Had to win some contests here, not through the middle of the corridor, but still good enough. D'Ambrosio, very rarely see him use his non-preferred in his right foot, but geez, that was executed very well. And Marbiot's had a fantastic year, and great to finish for the confidence early.
152 goals this season for Marbiot and building. Bounce favoured Fort. And now through the middle, Moore to McDonald. Blazing through towards Lewis. Well spoiled down there by Gardner and out of play. So the Hawks showing some pace through the middle early.
Yeah, it just shows, as Bucks was speaking about there, 4 talls. It's not actually 4 talls, and Sam Mitchell's been at pains to speak about that. Jack Gunston's gone to the bench now for a spell. Mitch Lewis on. There's only 3 of them out there.
Deer's been subbed out last couple of games. Revel working in a tight space, runs into Meek, and you're not getting through the big 17.
Well, their scores for inside 50, Hawthorn has improved since they played the taller structure. I think it creates more space because it weds the intercept markers to you, creates more space for your smalls. They've definitely been able to be more effective. You leave that first line, fourth in the comp for the last 3 weeks.
Revel, grabbed by Watson, grabbed by McDonald, grabbed by 3 players in the end. Ball it up. Beautiful night at the Gabba, around 19 degrees, very still, good for goal kicking. Rob Perella would be happy with the surface. You could,
Rob Perella.
you could see.
Before handle
Absolutely send one down on a bowling green out there tonight. Levi Ashcroft's McCluggage in close quarters. Gathered by Battle. Ginnivan up against the boundary line. Jaff working in the phone booth, pummels the handball back. Ginnivan's lively. Looping ball. Standing start, Barris. That's a moon ball inside 50. Deer at the front. He loves a bit of air. And he's going to have a shot at goal.
And that's exactly what the marking power provides in front of the ball. Barras is under a bit of heat. And then if he had an Amon or an Impey there, he would have fed it off with hands and they would have tried to run and carry into their smalls. But you need to know that you can just throw the ball on the boot and that you're going to get a contest down the line. And this young fella, doesn't he fly at the ball?
Yeah, it's brilliant. Marks at the highest point.
He is a very exciting young player. Comes in from 52. Gives it a good-looking ride. With the tallest man out there almost in fourth. Is able to fist it through. Brownie.
Hawthorne have done well to limit Brisbane's uncontested marks early, so they've only taken the 4 so far. So watch Brisbane here. They'll try and build through this mode.
Zorko, 300 man, absolutely had to be precise and was. We mentioned the pluggage with that heavy bandage on his left knee. The season he's had. Maybe this is the year for the All-Australian. Moving down the outer side. To a contest, Hardwick just gets his man under the foot. He gets a fist to it. Got support from Moore. High up and under, down the outer wing. It's out the back of Deer. And coming the other way is Gardner. Good hands. Now an opportunity for the Lions.
Through Fletcher, and then to Wilmot. Almost have to take that on the half volley. Did it cleverly to Andrews.
One of the outcomes of low uncontested marks is high pressure, and Hawthorn have been able to impose that in some shape or form of Brisbane by taking this away from them. So Brisbane's pressure factor's low, Hawthorn's high, although that'll come down a little bit after those uncontested marks just then.
So it was Moore to Scrimshaw, Ward, little chip back into the middle, McDonald's. Hawks looking to open up the field again, and then the umpire put what he could play on. And G. McDonald was startled, absolutely startled, and it's going to be a free kick to Brisbane.
Crowd is loud here too, so it'd be hard to hear it there.
Well, we certainly didn't hear it as Revel heads towards the pocket, and this could be really crucial as McCluggage takes it.
Yeah, all of a sudden Brisbane's taken about 8 or 9 uncontested marks in the space of a couple of minutes on that passage down the field. So they've worked hard. They probably unlucky here, didn't hear the whistle. Good awareness by Levi Ashcroft to get over there and Cam Runner in support. That's what Brisbane do. They work their uncontested marks to get into their front half, and then they build the pressure through their opposition.
So after the Hawks look to flow out of half back, Brisbane have a shot at goal. It's not the easiest assignment for McCluggage, and it sails through for a behind.
I think one of the challenges for the Hawks tonight will be just to get it out of their back half. So Brisbane, strong front half team, they lock it in there, they score heavily from that zone. So one of the things they'll be conscious of is getting it out of this area.
Disguises the kick down towards Battle. Gathers it well, the former Saint. Now onto Ward. Nash, back to Battle. Lays it off nicely. Moore sprints inside. Beautiful ball. Chol's out the back. And Marbior should kick his second of the evening.
Yeah, that's what you want to do. You get the Brisbane Lions defenders running back towards goal, where they can't set up and look at the ball ahead.
Well, Hawthorn's first goal was from a D50 exit, and they went end-to-end to Chol, and this is another one. So this is the second time they've been able to go end-to-end. We spoke about it with Sydney, slightly different ways and means of moving, but the same problem. With a big field, can you stop an opposition team from being able to go end-to-end?
Can do the unusual Marbior Chol. A nice set shot for his first goal from directly in front. Yes! Squeezed it home. Chol has got the opening 2.
Yeah, great kick. It was set up by James Sicily with that kick out. They don't want to spend much time in their defensive $50, so clearly he's got the penetration, so he goes for the long one. They get it over the top, and then they're off to the races.
We've seen some really good set plays from Hawthorn from early in the year, and they know exactly what their running patterns are. They know how the Lions like to set up, where their weak points might be. That doesn't mean that it comes off all the time, but if you know you've got that in your back pocket and you can score from it, geez, it does some damage because it affects the way that Lions will defend the next one, which might open up another little patch of opportunity. So it's an aggressive style. It's putting the opposition to the sword. They've done extremely well early.
Well, after a loud start to proceedings, there's a bit of silence around the stadium at the moment. So in the ruck, Newcomb just hacks it forwards and was easily mopped up by Wilmot. And now it's Ashcroft to brother Ashcroft. Will to Levi. And he goes longer to young Sam Marshall's 7th game.
Showed some good signs, especially last week against Fremantle, up close to 20 disposals.
To Andrews. Next kick, interesting. Not the full extension, but kicks it to the congestion at half forward, and then Morris slammed over the line by Battle. And coming in, Gallup. Lions player didn't really appreciate it.
No, the Lions were able to put a few uncontested mark chains here, but Hawthorn prepared to sit off, not give them the forward marks in through the midfield, which forced a long kick. They'd be happy to let Brisbane kick it to each other in the back half, back third, but not through the middle.
Chol's kicked the only 2 of the match now. He's in the ruck. Opportunity here for Bailey. Missed one. He would normally snaffled earlier on. Ashcroft puts up a speculator. Scrimshaw will come from behind.
That is a good mark. Strong miss. Eamon's kick, it's just a complete miss hit looking for Hardwick, and it's sloppy. So a packed house at the Gabba. Throw in. Chol and Fort. Fort gathers. Hardwick grabs him. Jaff, his handball was smothered, eventually hacked out. And it was by Newcomb, and they want insufficient intent, and they're not going to get it.
Look at that. Sub Luke Bruce, 308 games. 500-plus goals. Just giving a few tips to Nick Watson down on the bench. Coaching and playing tonight.
It's great. How valuable is that?
Fort. Down to the foot of Ashcroft. Hawks surround the ball. Bruce taps it out to Newcomb. Hard man to pin. Nash has got a decision to make. He's ripped off the football. Jack loses it as well. Ashcroft caught. Revel with a high check side. 3-2. Hardwick comes in from the side, affects the contest. Morris, only dangerous in the air now. Amon looking to clear the area any way he can. It works out to Meek. Now their forward hand pass. Good build up. Here is Watson. After that advice from Bruce, he looks for Deer. Taps it forward intelligently, but Gunston didn't quite read where it was going. And the Lions should be able to exit through Wilmot.
So Wilmot searing through, half back, gets it to Bailey. Bailey looks further afield. It's a lovely kick as well to Archie. Kicked 4 goals last time he played the Hawks. Short he goes. And now it's Ashcroft. Little chip, beautiful to Morris. And the young gun has it.
Brilliant. Great work there by the defender. Was it Gardner or Starcevic who just straightened up and went back through the corridor with that attacking handball. And then they were able to quickly transition up the corridor.
Thought that was a no-brainer handball to Fletcher there that wasn't given, but he is a player that wants the responsibility to hit a target, Ashcroft, and did exactly that.
So Brisbane's leading goal kicker, Logan Morris, looking for goal number 72 for his career. Saunters in from 40, and not this time.
That's a problem. It's been a problem here at the Gabba. For some reason, for whatever reason, is their goal kicking accuracy. Relatively simple shots, and Morris is a very good, accurate goal kicker with his sets.
So Cameron and Morris both miss opportunities they would typically take. So the Hawks exit defensive 50, looking for Deer. Gardner works him underneath it. Andrews gets a hand in. Newcomb, fall the ball, across to big Lloyd, now to Watson, sprints forward, needs to be precise by a foot. Lewis gets away from him, good work, really well done, Starcevic. Now to Marshall, chance for the Lions to turn it over the other way. Ball needs to be good and is. Lohman, handy back in the side. Looks inside on his best effort. And he gets away from Ty Gallop.
That was always going to be a hard one to defend because the Lions were off and had the Hawks offside, but they've a few little skill errors there that let the Hawks off the hook.
So Fort pats it down. Well trapped by Aben. In a bit of a tight part of the grounds, and in the end, it's going to come back from where it came. Marshall has it. So Marshall wheels and goes onto the preferred right. It's a wobbly entry. Is it good enough? Dunkley surrounded by Hawks and taken to ground.
Have a look at those two going to town already. They'll tackle each other 15 times each tonight, Newcomb and Dunkley.
Amon's had 8, Bailey 7. Ashcroft to Ashcroft, 10 to 8. Wobble ball forward in the Lohman direction. Dangerous round the sticks. Scrimshaw takes on and breaks the tackle. Amon doesn't try to be too precise. Watson floats across the front of the pack. Couldn't hold it, the Wizard. Gave the crowd an early thrill. Moore, good tackle. Back to Marshall. Wilmot just barrels it any way he can. Barris will try and spoil. Good use of the body and a strong mark by Sam Day.
Yeah, terrific second game back in by Sam Day. He's had a battling season with injury. Just hoping to string something together now. Play a huge role tonight with Derek Kickwood's out.
Yeah, you only have to do this 2 or 3 times a game, potentially. If it's a down-the-line kick or a forward 50 mark, even better. But Barras is always going to play on the biggest body in the opposition, the least agile, and Sam Day is that. But it's going to be a contested marking challenge from time to time, and he won that one.
Pick 3 way back in 2010. Now home at the Lions. They've had problems in front of goals, and there's a nervousness creeping around the crowd. That is 3 set shots they've missed. But they would typically kick, and they're 0-6.
At the back, Diet goes the fist that time. Watson so clever with the gather. And by hand to Moore. Looks lateral. Straight to Warple. Keeps them moving with a long kick. Full extension on the kick. Up goes Chol, not quite. Down towards Fletcher. He might have been taken high by McDonald. He was.
Hawthorne's got no interest in kicking short out of the kick-ins. Just get it out of the area. They look really dangerous from a kick-out, so that's what Brisbane's got to tidy up.
We can go through pressure or over it, and that's what they're doing at the moment. And their talls are actually providing really good contest and front and centres for their smalls.
Leicester, 1-on-1 on the outer side. Jaff keeps his feet. Archie fought against the Hawks earlier on in the year and had a 34-point win, and he's not getting away.
So loping in, Fort and Meek. Fort catches it, little toe poke. Progresses at 10 metres or so. Aiming again. And now Newcomb. Dances around his opponent, Archie. Slippery fingers. Now Zorko, his landmark match. To Wilmot. Now Starcevic. Right up the spine of the Gabba. Short one towards half forward. Bailey always threatening. Hesitates. To the top of the square. Day. Scrimshaw goes the spoiled. Day with a second chance. Someone has to throw a boot to it. It's Cameron. It's another behind.
Dane Zorko right back here in D50. He was forced boundary but turned back into the corridor, which opened up that entire play. That really, there should have been better made of that by Bailey with that much time and space going into forward 50, but no connection.
+4 inside 50s now, the Lions, 13 to 9, but 7 behinds is all they've registered. Sicily again, just hoofing it for distance, straight to Leicester. They'll get another inside 50 opportunity. They go into the middle of the distributor, Zorko. Goes by hand to McCluggage. On range from 50. Can McCluggage straighten them up? Day's deep again. And he's proving a concern early against Scrimshaw this time.
clear tactic by Hawthorn. They're going to the same spot every time with the kick-outs. They obviously had plenty of opportunities. They had 7 of them. James Sicily whacking it to this commentary side. So now Brisbane were prepared then. They had more numbers there, more representation. They go back into one-on-ones.
Surely this is the first of the Lions. They've been peppering the sticks. 7 behinds to this point. Make that 8. Big moments these in an enormous match.
I don't know if he can get there in ones.
Let's see if they change it up, the Hawks here. Or they go to the same spot. There it is. It'll change up.
So Hardwick was a 50-50 initially. Rebel slipping over. Battle kicking it long down the line towards Jap. They're trying to keep it in motion quickly. The Hawks eventually diffused.
Chris Fagan during the week described Josh Dunkley as the best two-way runner in the competition. And that's on show there, just getting back to defend. He's a magnificent player for the Lions.
Crowd on edge. They're expecting goals and they're getting only points at the moment. Newcomb back by hand. High entered ball. Watson will stay down for Chol. Just crashes Fletcher. And while Brisbane have been missing, this man has been hitting.
Brandy's not enjoying it, but how good has Chol been in the last couple of seasons? He's played exceptionally. The role he plays is crucial and important as that second ruck role. But now we're starting to see him express himself in his aerial. He finishes when he needs to. He's been an exceptional get for Hawthorn and just improved year on year.
This to really hurt the Lions after their 8 behinds. Chol for a third shot and a third goal to give the Hawks a nice little advantage. Marbior has got 3. Marbior Chol, the number 18, has kicked all 3 of Hawthorn's goals while Brisbane have been missing up the other end. 12-point lead.
You go back to the start of the year and all of the Hawthorn tools were out, and it was Chol and then the Mosquito fleet, and he did exceptionally well. He's been a maligned player for a lot of his career, but geez, when he's good, isn't he?
He's fantastic. He's obviously got the long reach, but this time he marks on his chest. But he leads hard with the ball as well, so he's come up a couple of times tonight and been able to get the mark on the lead. Just with that Leicester matchup, there's a clear height difference there. Surprised maybe Leicester hasn't gone to Gunston and Gardner more to Chol, who's more the aerialist.
Less than a minute to go, first quarter. Brisbane ruining so many opportunities. Ashcroft's blazing through the middle, wobbly entry. Under pressure, the defence here for the Hawks. Hard wicket with an up and under. Meek marks, then tries to crash the pad. Fort grabs him. The umpire wants it.
Yeah, I thought he tried to beat that first tackle, Meek, and that's your prior. If you can't get a disposal after that, I think you've got to be pinged.
Charlie Cameron's hurt his right wrist.
Yeah, holding a wrist. D'Ambrosio puts his head over the footy. Still time for either side. Just propping over it. Ward can't pick it up. Fletcher trying to come back the other way. Here's an important ball to be won. 20 seconds on the clock. The Hawks haven't missed. Brisbane have done nothing but miss. Still time. D'Ambrosio feints. 11 on the clock. They'll need to take a mark. The Hawks. From the side is Ward. Newcomb's free. Newcomb had Chol. Hooks it round the corner. Misses. Right on the quarter-time siren. The Hawks needed to quieten the crowd early. Gardner's into Newcomb after the miss. Hawthorn lead it though on the back of Marbior Chol's 3 majors. Cameron looks sore. Hawthorn 3-3-21. Brisbane 8 behinds. It is only the second time in 5 years that Brisbane haven't scored a goal in the opening term. Straight after tonight, the first crack team. But the Hawks lead it by 13 points at the first break.
All right, folks, there we go. Quarter time here at the Gabba, and of course, Hawthorn doing a good job. 3-3-21. Oh, the Brisbane Lions, 8 straight behinds. 8 scoring shots to 6. Hawks getting the job done in front of goal. Of course, Marbior Chol having a fantastic opening term. I think he's kicked all 3 goals. Look, both teams look pretty good. I think you know, the Lions are getting shown up a little bit by the Hawks' pace. Brisbane are reasonably clean with the ball going forward as well. They just miss and set shots, and you can't afford to miss this. They've got a fair bit to play for in this game today, folks. I think I'm pretty sure there could be top four position, double chance is what they're playing for this evening. Of course, we have a look at that now. Hawthorn in front. They're jumped to third on the ladder. Brisbane down there in 7th spot. Can you believe it? Down there in 7th spot. So if that happens to be, folks, the end result, then we might be able to work out who's going to be playing who in the finals. It just depends who's going to fill that 8th spot, whether it will be Western Bulldogs or the Gold Coast. So we might have a little bit of a show on who's going to do that. Of course, my tip for this evening is Hawthorn. I think they'll get it done at EG. I think they'll get it done, the Hawks. So it could be possibly Fremantle playing Brisbane. And you know what? I think that's a good result if Freo play Brisbane. I'd love to be playing Brisbane. I think that's how it goes. 5th plays 8th, 6th plays 7th. I think that's how it goes. So that would be... Yeah, look, I tell you what, Lions are a team that you'd want to be playing in the first final. I think with the Freo speed that they've got, they showed today, I think that's definitely the opposition that I'd be choosing to play. I'd love to play the Brisbane Lions in the finals, that's for sure. All right, let's go and have a little bit of a look. Just the lineups in this game today. The Lions got 3 changes. Kai Lohman coming in, James Tunstall, Ty Gallop coming in, going out, Jared Berry, Eric Hipwood, couple of big outs there, and Luke Beacon. The sub is James Tunstall. Dane Zorko playing his 300th game. Well done, Dane Zorko. And of course, Charlie Brum Brum Cameron playing his 250th. For the Hawks, no changes at all. There are your teams. Luke Bruce is the sub. There are your teams so far. Let's just jump over, have a look at the teams, the player stats. Of course, there is only one goal scorer out there on the ground so far, and of course that's Mo Chol from Hawthorn. He's showing Brisbane how to do it. 3 straight goals, 4 kicks, 3 goals, looking pretty sharp is Mo Chol there. Just the ball magnets out on the ground so far. Cull Amon tops the table, the only one in double figures for the Hawks on 11. 7 kicks, 4 handballs. Jai Newcomb on 8. Best for Brisbane. Zach Bailey there on 8 with Will Ashcroft on 8 also. Let's just quickly roll down there. James Sicily keeping busy. He's already had 7 so far. Hugh McCluggage, hey Bags, you've got 7 also. There we go. We'll just quickly scroll down because we're going to get back. Correct, absolutely correct. I mean, if you're watching the game, you have a look how much it troubles the Brisbane Lions by the speed of their opposition. You know, Brisbane Lions are normally pretty skillful, pretty clean with the ball. They like that chipping, the short chipping game, all that type of stuff. But when the speed's on the ball, they do seem to be left a little bit flat-footed, and I think Hawthorn have shown that a couple of times already in this opening term. There's 13 points of margin here. I tell you what, though, this game can go anywhere. If Brisbane start to get on their bike and start to get things working, this game's going to be come down to the wire. We could have ebbs and swings, momentum swings in this game. It's always possible. Brisbane Lions are home in front of a packed crowd here up there at the Gabba in Brisbane. Expecting a good game. But as I said, folks, hey, there is a lot to play for, And, of course, if Brisbane win, Brisbane will go to third if they win and get the double chance. As I said, if Hawthorn win, they go to third, get the double chance. So a lot to play for, this evening. There we go. All right, let's head back down to the ground, and they'll take us into the second quarter, whereas the Hawks by 13 points.
A bit better, but Logan Morris tells us hitter as was Sam Day. So 5 behind from set shots. They need to tidy that up.
One thing we have seen is talking about the Hawks being able to go end to end, but the fact is that they've scored a couple of goals from their D50.
Cam Rayner's got to get going.
Yeah, he does. He hasn't had a touch yet, so it looks like he might go into the middle to get a touch early to get him into the game. The Lions themselves have been able to go from their D50 to forward 50 really well. Nearly half of the time that they get the ball at D50, they've been able to go all the way. What that's doing is just opening up the ground for the Hawks to be able to rebound. So
Two goals from kicking.
The Hawks are trumping the Lions in most elements of the game at the moment. The Lions need to respond the first 5 minutes of this quarter.
Not the start that the home team was looking for. We go into the second quarter, Hawks by 13. Not an empty seat in the house in Brisbane tonight.
It's a fascinating battle throughout the day in the 300 game. And Jack Ginnivan, who's been in outstanding form, got a bit of niggle in each other, those two.
Yes, they can certainly be verbose on the footy field. So Fort and Meek to get us underway in this second stanza. Meek wins it down. Grabbed by Nash, tunnel ball, handball. Ginnivan running hard for it. Jaff is going to be the recipient. Grabs it in front of Marshall, and then Ginnivan. Swinging ball inside 50. And in the end, it's going to be Leicester with the pill. Inside defensive 50 for Brisbane.
2-2-9 for Leicester.
Don't reckon there would have been a lot of panic in the Lions quarter time huddle either because of that ball use. They know they're so strong at clearance. If they can just hit the scoreboard and get their last kick straight, you're going to go a long way.
Could turn it over here. Clever little touch from Jaff. Back to the man who affected it. Ginnivan looks for the man in more, but Leicester again. So as a coach, as Chris Fagan, do you mention goal kicking at quarter time, or it's just so obvious you just leave it be?
Well, he did say early in the year when they were struggling, you can tend to go a bit psycho about it all because if you bring it to the attention of the players. So I think he'll just let them sort itself out. Hopefully they start to handle the pressure of the occasion.
Dunkley, Bailey, little sidestep was good. And then a penetrating kick in the Morris direction, spoiled by Battle. Rayner goes in for his first touch, and it was a good one too. Spun his way out of the pack to Morris. Then Cameron wanting a free kick against Impey. He's not going to get one, and eventually out of play.
That can come into Charlie's game a little bit. He's when you're playing for free kicks, you're not going to win the contest or give yourself a chance to win the contest that you should stay in. It's a bad habit. Not just of his, but of some players at times. Don't want to see that repeated, I reckon.
Brisbane pressing. Smashed away from Bailey. The brothers combined. Should be a free kick for High. And there's a bit of niggle too.
He's got to be careful he doesn't give away a 50 here.
Hardwick's not a man to be messed with.
Dangerous area, though.
Especially when your brother's right next door.
Well, Newcomb knew he'd given the free kick away. He just made him earn it a little bit more, didn't he?
Will Ashcroft to the goal square. Big pack flies. McCluggage at the fall. Is this the first goal? I reckon it is. He's going to break the drought. Hugh McCluggage with the first goal at the Gabba.
They're breaking the duck, Bucks. Weight off the shoulders, even though it's not a set shot, but they lock it in their forward half. So this is the mode for Brisbane. They did this in the first quarter, but they weren't able to score the goals. This time, they get that forward half turnover, and they get the goal.
It was so important for the Lions to kick that first goal, to get on the board first and foremost and break the duck, but also to be able to challenge Hawthorn's defence. You know, this just starts picking up the pressure on them because you've let them off by kicking points, but now they know that it's on for young and old.
And the crowd was ready to sing, Matty. The old timers, especially with Hey Jude there. The youngsters will be going, what's this song?
So McCluggage with his 8 disposal kicks the first goal for the Lions. Warple stands him in the middle. Fort goes early. Might favour Warple here. Really well played Dunkley. Got his body in front of the footy and back to the goal scorer. Now they go through Zorko. Can they go bang, bang the Lions? Over the back of Rayner. Barris is the only one left. They'll have a decision to make here. Looks for the line. All sorts of people in the house, including Pat McAfee there. I saw.
He was out with the training with the Lions
drop
yesterday.
a talk from 50 yesterday. Those that follow American sports and the Pat McAfee show.
Biggest podcast in the world, just over Howie's games.
Well, we're wearing different watches. I give you the tip.
From the rack, Cameron tackles Nash.
Former punter for the Indianapolis Colts.
Meek won it down. Jaff kick deflects back towards Newcomb and Co. He's going to come back because Archie's got it for Brisbane.
Got options in the middle and elects to use them. Leicester tries to place it inside. Impey's outsized, brings it to ground level. The line's small swamp. Walker will be happy to hold her, and you just saw Bailey jump off him there. The umpire said no chance.
Again, danger zone now for the Hawks. They need to get out of here.
So a hurried kick by Ashcroft in Levi, and out of play.
This is where Brisbane builds pressure on teams, Bucks, locking it in their front half. But many really good stoppage options, especially in this part of the ground.
Big number 216 pressure stakes for Brisbane. Meek pushed to the side. D'Ambrosio steps one tackle. Now Nash winds it out of defence. It'll be all the lines again, though. Wilmot drops one he should have taken. Ran headfirst into McDonald. Now Harris with a high one. Dunkley's the only one there. D'Ambrosio just watched it land in his arms.
Yeah, he dropped short. We spoke about his abilities to run back in defence and help out. His two-way running. He can also go forward. He's a big man. Just seen here on his own, there was a bit of a scrubber kick. It dropped short. They need to do a better job over the Hawks defenders there. Someone's got to make contact with Dunkley.
Two-time premiership player. 5 goals in his 22 matches this season before tonight to make it 2 in a row for Brisbane and tighten things right up. And there's something going on with the Lions goal kicking. That just veered away like a Wazim Akram in-swing.
Yes.
Did you boys wet the finger and raise it before the match just to see if there was wind?
It'd be the most perfect day here in Queensland. Not a breath of wind.
Well, they've had 11 front half turnovers to go the other way. They've got 6 points from those 11 front half turnovers. So that's letting the opposition off the hook. You want to make sure you're scoring from that. The field position's great. No good without scoring.
Chol. Penetrating kick to the wing. Starcevic trying to pinch it off them. McDonald, Nash. D'Ambrosio's kick partially smothered. It's going to spin out of play.
And the other thing we know from repeated misses, it's energy sapping as well. So this smother from Kawachi, but it can be energy sapping if it's ongoing.
1 goal 9 to the Hawks, 3-3. If just joining us, Marby or Chol's kicked all 3 for the visitors. Archie's had plenty of it, just threw it on his boot immediately. Sends it out on the full. Sicily will reset for the Hawks. And long out of defence all night as the skipper. And does the same here. 60 metres of coverage. Leicester in the perfect position.
He's done some really good things early, Leicester, to Archie.
Brisbane just starting to mark it in their defence. 5 intercept marks now, 6 intercept marks for the game against the Hawks too.
Archie in a bit of a state of flux there. It goes to Starcevic. And then the low ball to Wormburner. Warple was the first one there with access to kick inside 50. Lewis not quite. Zorko with the big hammer. Not quite good enough. Hawks there. D'Ambrosio's kick was smothered. Now Ginnivan paddles it forward. Cut off by Leicester. And they're going to get out of it here, the Lions. Starcevic and Andrews combined.
Harris wants to go back inboard. Well weighted. Ashcroft's in a similar space. It's lobbed into the hands of Sam Marshall. Game 7 out of the Lions Academy. Enthralling affair. It wouldn't be so much if Brisbane are kicking straight and Hardwick just comes with a 50-metre punch and he gets a nice bounce too. If you're a Hawks fan, to Giaff, bangs it inside and here we go, Gunston. Against his old side. An incredible season where he's kicked 60 goals and off 7 last week he was kicking these.
Great punch there by Hardwick. A bit of a slip here from Marshall. He's unlucky, but beautiful kick down by Jaff. I love the way Gunston leads at the ball. Presents full-chested.
Hasn't been sighted so far, Jack Gunston. He's had 1 handball to this point, but this is where he comes into his own. Gunston shapes it absolutely perfectly. Arm in the air for Jack. He knows the Gabba. And the respond. 61 for the season.
As a Hawthorn supporter, Howie, I thought you were risking the commentator's curse. He didn't let you down, though. He's a wonderful kid. His old premiership teammates here in the crowd, Buddy Franklin, Grant Birchall. I love that punch. Yeah. Big, strong, aggressive, spoil.
Absolutely. And you make your own luck from something like that as well. It clears that front and centre position. But as there's some kickers that sort of give you plenty of time to be able to take a mark, I reckon there's some blokes on the lead that make you feel like you're kicking to a bigger target.
Yeah, spot on.
Jack Gunston is one of those, I believe.
All-Australian in the awards, the AFL Awards Thursday night on Fox. And Jack Gunston, he inducted again into the All-Australian. You have a look at the numbers of what he's done in recent times. Quite extraordinary.
Real highlight earlier in the year when he kicked his 500th at the MCG. Here's Lohman. Ashcroft. That's Will. Working with Marshall, who's running hard laterally, gathers the football, then has to backpedal. And Chol, who initially started the passage of play in the ruck with a really good smother, he's on song tonight.
Yeah, he's come out of the ruck, there's a follow-up there, and then Brisbane are trying to chain out, and the ruckman is the one that's over near the boundary line to lay that smother. That's exceptional work rate.
Nice rated player on the ground, maybe a Chol.
5 disposals, 3 goals. Running through the ruck now, Warple in a tight space. Ashcroft drops it forward, Impey. Also having a fantastic year, arrives just in time.
Well, you wouldn't be disappointed if your Lions 10 scoring shots to 7. If you knew you were going to be 6 or 7 minutes into the second quarter with those stats, you'd be wrapped. But they're giving the Hawks a look. Great spoil from Impey to go back with the flight and kill that contest.
Scrimshaw's kick touched off the boot, tumbling ball towards the boundary line, and Andrews forced to just tap it over.
Ashcroft, Will has had 12. Ashcroft, Levi's had 11. Aim on 11 with Newcomb 9 for the Hawks. Centre wing, Chol seemingly doing everything at the moment. The Ashcroft boys try to combine. Here's Marbior again.
So they've done well to even things up this last 5 or 10 minutes, Hawthorn. Just with the territory, 5-4 now, the inside 50 count after Brisbane dominated early in this quarter.
Big discrepancy in uncontested marks too, as we saw on the screen earlier, 41 to 11. I wonder if that wears Hawthorn down in time.
Day went himself and just pummeled it forward. Morris, that was clever, towards Bailey. If Bailey can pick it up, Sicily grabbed him. Impey went in too.
Great tackle. Sicily's not known for his speed, but he needed to be quick there to be able to bring Zach Bailey down. Have a look, he puts the head down and gets there. Great tackle.
Brisbane pressing again. Ward. Nash goes in towards the interior of the Gabba. Fisted away from Deere. Quick hands there to Fletcher. Can they finally straighten up the Brisbane Lions? The number 3 rams it home. Jasper. It's the score that they were looking for, and the second straight for Brisbane alongside them 9 behind.
Again, for the mode where the Lions operate the best, their front half turnover. Ryan Lester's been fantastic. I know he gave that goal up on Jack Gunston with great individual play, but he's spoiled. He's been able to take intercept marks. Look at this, just bang, just a whack forward there. Brisbane take off forward, and Fletcher continues on his great season, Bucks.
Yeah, that was important to get a goal from one of those front half turnovers. So that's up to 12 now. So their ability to be able to go back. Fletcher, Ed Richards is one of the players that just cuts a straight line between where he gets the ball and the goals. And Jasper Fletcher has shown elements of that when he's been moved off the wing this year to halfback and even through the middle at times.
So a little bit straighter Brisbane that time. Rayner with the secondary punch. Eamon replies in kind. Will Ashcroft back to Dunkley. Off a step, full extension on the kick. Cameron on the side. Lohman comes in, but they're going to pay a mark to Scrimshaw, who was really cool in a crisis there.
Yeah, man in front. Lohman loomed up from behind, but just couldn't complete the mark. Paid it to Scrimshaw, which is fair enough.
Amon progresses it onto Hardwick. Called the play on. Cameron pressures him. Ginnivan trying to get front position and infringed in doing that.
Just looking across the field, the Lions are really hard man-on-man when the Hawks have got the ball in D50. I think they want to force this game into contest as often as they possibly can.
So Brisbane putting the pressure on. Watson was the first at the football and receives a free kick against Dunkley. So Watson to battle deep inside defensive 50. And looks for Sicily on the way out and found the captain.
Poor decision by Fletcher there to go short into Dunkley, who was behind Watson.
Brisbane feel like they're on top. The Hawks lead due to inaccuracy from their opponents. A couple of lines spoil each other.
Just see the record there, 6 wins and 4 losses for the Lions this year. It's been a bit of a cold one, but it's been on the back of bad goal kicking usually. And again, that continues on that trend.
Levi Ashcroft attempting to get it to Lohman, who was infringed upon by Eamon. Plays on quickly. Dunkley, McCluggage, back pedals. Then a high one. Rayner's in the middle against 3 Hawks, punched away. Warple's handball dangerous. They're hovering here, the Lions. Marshall goes in, back towards Wilmot. He had a fumble. Then he tried to kick it. Then he fumbled it again. Rebel off the ground. Then to Lohman. Standing start. Lohman! That's a goal. He salutes the sky. And the Lions have drawn level.
He's huge in. He's the igniter for the team, along with Charlie Cameron. So he's had an injury interrupted year. Came in with great hopes after kicking goals in the grand final last year. But this is what he can do. He can light up the Gabba. Good kick off one step. It was a real speculator by James Warple to handball that back into the corridor. Just watch this unfold. To Warple, geez, that's dangerous against Brisbane, who you know are coming down hard on to turn that ball over in the front half.
Interesting like that with Wilmot there. He didn't actually possess the ball. He had a couple of cracks at it and it slipped out of his hand. It would have looked, for all intents and purposes, like he was tackled and dispossessed, but sort of didn't really get it the second time. But the ability to another forward half turnover, that's 14, 2 goals, 6 from that source. They're squeezing and applying great pressure in the front half because they're starting to get on top in clearances as well.
13-point quarter-time margin the way the Hawks have been whittled down to zip as the Lions press. Well set up again, Wilmot having a good night. Not his best effort. Jack didn't know whether to come or stay. In the end, he just grabs it off Starcevic, who grabs Jack.
Great contest. That ball goes either way. Jack gets it or Starcevic gets it. It's probably a goal because there was an overlap chain each way for both teams.
Dominated disposal of this quarter, Brisbane.
Cameron to Bailey. Sockers off the ground. Wobbly towards half forward. Coming out to meet it was Barris. Rayner grabbed him. Then to Cameron. And then to Dunkley. Tumbling little ball picked up by Bailey. That was good. Rayner off the ground. They just keep progressing it forward. Then Lohman tried to pick it up. Was he infringed? He was. They're hitting a real little purple patch here.
Territory.
It reminded me of the Lions of old, the early 2000s, just that surge football where you just keep getting it forward.
Forward under pressure, that was the motto. Feels like that tonight in this second quarter.
That's a big tackle. Big tackle on Barris.
Yeah,
Rayner. He's a big man.
So Kai Lohman, well, he's kicked 10 goals this year before tonight, but he's kicked 2 real important ones. Cue Daddy Cool.
Yeah, important. The loss of Eric Hipwood. There's Pat McAfee getting involved. The boys all fired up yesterday at training. But yeah, really important play, especially with Hipwood out. And he has a really good aerial presence, even though he's only a medium-sized forward, but also good at ground level, albeit that being a free kick.
Yeah, I didn't have Q Daddy Cool, State of Flux and Rob Perella on my bingo card, but Hilly's got them all in tonight. But the Lions, they really have dominated this quarter, haven't they? They've, for the large part, been able to win clearance. And even when they've lost it, that was a Wilmot intercept mark that went back the other way. when they get it in their front half, they're winning contests, they're turning the ball over, and now they're hitting the scoreboard.
Every time it goes into Hawthorn's front half, Brisbane quickly rebounded out of there.
I think half the audience is still putting Rob Perella in the chat GPT to figure out what's going on. Newcomb, the Hawks need something out of the middle, and they get it through Newcomb and Moore. Sends it deep. Deer makes front position, follows it up well. Good contest, Nash, the big body. Same goes for Starcevic. The Lions hack it out of defence, bouncing ball. Eamon sends it back where it came, and it'll work out. And Deer will get the second opportunity.
Yeah, Eamon's had a huge first quarter, quiet second quarter, but the time just hacks it in. Big kick now for Kelce Deer, the young forward. Obviously having an awareness of the situation, knowing his team's lost momentum. Can he just drag them back into this quarter?
He's had one kick for the night, which was a shot that just didn't quite make the distance and landed in the square. Important kick for the young man from about 40 out.
Might be that in.
So fascinating 8 minutes ahead of us before half-time as Wilmot straight up the middle, McCluggage, and then Zorko right down the middle. But Scrimshaw was there. He's got to be fast. Cameron's got him. Wears him down. And then it spills out to Meek. A little fend off to Archie. Then a wobbly one off the boot. Ward. Impey's got to be fast. Gets rid of it towards McDonald. He backpedals. Little chip. Ward was good to Newcomb to steady the ship.
What about Lloyd Meek's athleticism, the big fella?
Newcomb, there's a couple free here. Watson.
How would you describe the kick from Lloyd?
Yeah, not his best, but he was out of juice after his performance earlier. The big man, look at that. The fend off. Shows some legs. Left foot, I'm not sure he's been working on that much.
So Nick Watson, the speed machine, the excitement machine with a set shot. And again across the face. And a rush behind. Something about that end.
Yeah, that's right. All of a sudden now the pressure building on the Hawthorn set shot kickers. Kelce Deer missed the relatively straightforward one. That was a bit more difficult there by Nick Watson, but we know Brisbane had a huge problem there in that first quarter. They kicked 0-8.
Just a 4-point game. Gee, that's a well-disguised kick to Dunkley. Right on the edge of the line in front of CJ. Very short, not the distance. Won't stop the Lions of Wilmot. Newcomb was able to get something on it.
He's an effective player, Wilmot. He drives with his legs all the time. He actually got quite good scope, especially with his preferred foot on the short kicks. He sees the opportunities through the midfield. He's turned into a really effective running half-back for the Lions over the last couple of years.
Nash. And then Ward deflecting off the boot of Watson. And out of play.
Seen a couple of those little ground kicks for Hawthorn, being prepared to go low to try and break up the play. They want to pick that up clean and get the next handball received to break the line and go over the top.
Beautiful night at the Gabba. The Brisbane chant reverberating around the stadium. Cluggies won't get his way through it. Meek and Fort.
Tickets were hard to come by for this one. Only 30,000 seats. A lot of Hawthorn supporters trying to come up for this one.
Nash with no room to operate. Does well if you can keep it in play. He can't.
They're out.
So the switch is on. Starcevic. And then out to Revel. From Gardner and now Cameron. And he set the Gabba alight. This important night, and an important night for him, and they're going to bring him forward with the 50 metres against Battle.
And that's a breakdown in structure of the fat side. So the offensive Hawthorn and the positioning of their players. Brisbane were able to get one player, I'm not sure, I think it was Gardner who received that first one, but then they were off to the races, and Impey tries he might, and who was on the mark, Battle?
It had to be against D'Ambrosio, wasn't it? He points to D'Ambrosio, so D'Ambrosio run across, so you know that zone on the inside. The umpires are watching that closely.
250 games for Charlie Cameron. A big occasion on a big occasion night. And the Lions now extend.
Didn't get around him too. That's good energy. This team have been successful for a long time. Obviously, the reigning premiers. To keep finding that energy, the support, that positivity is so important for any team. What a big occasion to do it. And Charlie Cameron, great finish and rewarded for it. See that kick now, they're basically, they're playing checkers now, going over the top each time. Impey tried to get back to his man, couldn't quite. Battle comes up. Now he's moving a little bit. I don't know if it's D'Ambrosio.
Umpire points to him afterward. See how he points over at D'Ambrosio.
But they were playing catch up from that first exit and they weren't able to do it.
Kick the last 4 of the Lions, 5 of the last 6. They're starting to get away from the Hawks, who are just hanging in as half-time approaches. And Denver continues to echo around the Gabba. The crowd like to hear that a few more times here. Hawks under pressure in every possession. Ginnivan squeezes it forward. And now Wilmot is having a real effect off half-back. He'll get it back here, Darcy Wilmot. Now Rain, and this is Brisbane at their best. He'll send it out further wide. We've got runners everywhere, Brisbane. Here's the important kick inside 50. Numbers! Two of them touch it. Falls to McCluggage. Whips it out wide again and inside 50. Little low burner, and the Hawks cut it off, but they're only just hanging in. And it was Marshall involved in the chain a couple of times.
Yeah, Brisbane, Albert, they always get that ball back into the corridor, and then happy enough, if they have to, they go all the way down the corridor, or if they go outside, they do. There's so many different modes. They can change lanes. They get the ball quickly from their back half into their forward 50.
Chant goes round the Gabba. Meek won it narrowly at the back. Gang tackle to the ground was Nash.
He's got to hang in these Hawthorn midfielders, hanging here till half-time. Try and clear it out of this zone.
Quick kick by Dunkley towards the top of the square. Morris at the front. Battle did well.
Dunkley's up to 14 alongside Will Ashcroft and Sam Marshall. Aim on 13 for the Hawks. But they are pressing the Lions. Last 4 of the match. After their first 8 scores were behind. 5 of them set shots, 3 of them posters. Nash, big frame over the footy. The Lions are winning the one-on-ones at the moment.
Magnificent night at the Gabba. The warmth in the air. Nice and still. Perfect for football. On a great deck. This time the boundary umpire called into action.
And blocking off the footy and trying to get Lohman free and quite manage it. Ball to be won. Watson will use his speed. Runs in at size. Gunston's clean. Now an opportunity for the Hawks. They run through the middle. Jaff. He's got a one-on-one deep. Needs someone to come towards him. That's what happens. 2 to beat. Mitch Lewis cannons into a couple of Lions. Leaves carnage in his wake. And he's getting the free. Gee, hit that hard.
Interesting to see. Well, if he had his eye on the ball, it doesn't count. I don't think that's a free kick. I can understand because the player was coming back.
Who was that paid against?
I think it was paid against Darcy.
That is a shocking free kick, honestly. How can you pay a free kick against the player that's going there, attacking the ball and putting his body on the line? What I said.
Against Darcy, definitely.
Played 75. Played 75, missed 94 since his debut. Now he'd dearly love to kick this. The number 2 hits it very sweetly. Lewis knows where it's going. And that's the one the Hawks needed. Pumped up to the big number 2.
The Lions have worked so hard to get back in D50. Mitch Lewis was the only Hawk there, and there were 4 Lions players. So Jaff had nowhere else to go other than to stop, come back and change direction and go through the corridor, which was an option to him. But they were out hard here. The overlap there, but you've got Starcevic there. Leicester working across, and then off ball, you had a couple of Lions there ready to take the deeper entry. But I'm with you, Brownie.
Well,
It's a marginal.
Yeah, I saw some pretty ordinary ones on Friday night, the Suns Port Adelaide game. That's as bad as I've seen. From an experienced umpire too, that is not what our game calls for. We celebrate our players for putting their body on the line. Now, well done to Mitch Lewis. Take nothing away because he took the opportunity. Well done.
Fought down to Bailey. Warple wouldn't let him run away. Meek had to gather. Hot football to win. Rayner went in hard. Eventually McCluggage. Bouncing ball inside 50. Scrimshaw the first one. Goes the fist. Warple working hard. Lohman grabbed him. Umpire said he ducked into it. Then Newcomb by hand. Ginnivan loping through the middle. Meek, can he pick it up? It's a long way down. Zorko threw himself over the football, eventually one out to Warple. Throws his boot at it. Bouncing ball grabbed by Wilmot. And then out to the wing it goes. Who can pick it up? Gallop's the first one there for Brisbane. Works it well. Scrimshaw grabs him. Impey hard up against the boundary line. Smothered football. Gallop grabbed by Impey. And a free kick.
Game's gone up a notch here at the Gabba. Couple of minutes till the major break. Hawthorn by 13 at quarter time. Brisbane to kick 4-2 to hold a 4-point lead. They go inside 50 again. Big fly, Lohman. He's kicked a couple. Carl Amon sends it high and wide and not so handsome.
And that's it. That's a result to the relentless front 50 or forward 50 pressure that Lions have put on. You just end up quick kicking it out, and then you get more front half turnovers to go back in.
Marshall's kick, and then Barris sinks the fist into it.
And it is part of the game plan as well. You getting it out of D50, which has been the Hawks' MO, even from kickouts. So don't let it sit in a position where you can get holding the ball tackles against you. Take the game to the defensive mid and then try and win that contest.
Sunday night footy, top 4 for the winner. The loser goes into an elimination final. Only 4 points in it. Everything we want in the footy. Archie wobbles it forward. Archie 5-10 for Brisbane.
So if they're well to hold up from this area of the ground, the Hawks, they've had quite a lot of defensive 50 stoppages. They conceded the one this quarter.
Archie kicking 4 against the Hawks in round 11. Last time these two sides met, Lions winning by 33. So Scrimshaw exits defensive 50. And Newcomb got a little clip across the ears, but gets the mark and then down towards Lewis, out the back. Foot race on. Leicester tried to trap it, couldn't do so. Zorko cleverly to Wilmot. Ashcroft, Wilmot. And then a wobbly one, high one, floats out towards Gallop. Has 2 Hawks to beat. Impey trapped it cleverly. Inboard he goes. McDonald. And now a switch kick to Hardwick, and they look open.
It's got Chol on a long lead. Kick 3 in the opening term. Hits him perfectly in front of Andrews. Mitch Lewis is ahead of the footy. Chol off a step, casually gives it to McDonald. Gunston leads up at him, plays on to Jaff. Hemmed in, gets round him first time, not second time. Well done, Archie. Back to Andrews. Brings Jaff down. Fletcher should clear. Risky ball in the middle. Lohman needs to be clean on his. Here come the Lions again. Cameron's got space out the back. He's got Morris. He intends it wider, and it's effective. Now Rayner loads from 55. Battle races back. Doesn't matter. Cameron Rayner in the shadows of half time. Bangs home a long bomb. Brisbane back out by 11.
Great call, Howie. They're all over them at the moment. Even when Hawthorn go forward, they're working so hard to get back, and they'll get extra numbers for Hawthorn's front half entries or their opportunities to get into the scoring zone. But they're simply beating them inside and working harder outside at the moment. Now, they're still only 11 points up, but they've been able to finish this quarter and really put foot on throat and squeeze. So there's a couple of minutes here to go, and these become important moments in the game. Hawthorn would want to hold up, don't want the Lions to kick another one, and and sort of take advantage of this momentum any further.
He's had an interesting night. Quiet first quarter, didn't have a touch. 5 touches in the second quarter and an absolute bomb for a goal.
Well, 13 seconds, not minutes.
So Will Ashcroft, little toe poke, only to Warple. Skies one. Final foray here for the Hawks before half-time. Ginnivan on the siren! Yes! Jack's done it! He can do some amazing things. And he only needed 13 seconds.
Wow.
And what about the importance of a goal right on the siren? Just that momentum before the major breakbacks.
Oh, look, it sets the second half up, doesn't it? This is brilliant. For Hawthorn to be able to respond like that from a centre bounce goal. Yeah, they've kicked a couple of goals from kick-outs. They've got that centre bounce goal there. They will go in thinking, look, we've been beaten in some areas of the game that we value, but we're right there. We're right there against an opponent that we know that we can lift our level and go again.
Now, Bucks, let's have a listen to when Jack kicked the ball. Listen for the siren. What do you reckon?
It matters when the officiating umpire hears it in his ear. So I think it was pretty simultaneous. Probably heard it just before it hit the boot. But I'm happy to pay that. That's fair play.
Terrific first half, Alistair Lynch.
Yeah, Matty, the Hawthorn Footy Club, as they're just walking in, I reckon going into this game, if they could have broken even with stoppages and clearances and scores from stoppages, they'd be pretty happy. They've been able to do that. But the major thing has been the scores from intercepts. Massive difference in this game. 4 goals, 8 for the Brisbane Lions, 1 goal, 3 to Hawthorn. That's the game, and that's where they've been hurt. And certainly the ability of the Brisbane Lions to transition from defensive 50 into their forward 50. Now, they haven't scored more often than not, or certainly haven't kicked straight. That is an issue for Hawthorn at half-time. And that's where the Brisbane Lions, albeit they're only up by 5 points at half-time, they'd be pretty happy with the game situated at the moment.
Alistair, thank you very much. The first crack coming up after the footy tonight. So what a day we've had, and it continues after the blockbuster tonight.
All right, there we go. Half time. Hey, Paul, how you doing? So Lions by 5 points at half time here at the Gabba. 6-10-46. 6-5-41 the Hawks. I tell you what, the Lions got their kicking boot back on a little bit in that second term. Instead of 0 goals, 8 behinds in the opening term, they put on 6 goals, 2 in the second term, got them right back in the game and regaining the lead. Of course, Hawks could only put on 3 goals, 2. 3 goals, 2, so we've got a 5-point margin. Tell you what, we're in for a cracking game. This is a game, I don't even know who's going to win this game. It's pretty tight in the poll. We've got 55% saying the Hawks, 45% saying Brisbane. So she's a pretty tight poll in the chat today. Just recapping, Paul, for you. Tell you what, the games today, they were fantastic. The GWS Giants, they only just got over the top of St Kilda, 104.93. Saints are in front. The GWS Giants and Toby Green come to the fore in the dying couple of minutes of that game and re-snared the lead to win that one, cemented their spot. And, of course, Freo defeating Western Bulldogs 112.97. The Bulldogs got out to a flyer in the opening term, looked like it was their game. But then in the second, third term, Freo just tore them apart. Their run was just exceptional. And their hand to foot was brilliant, were Freo in that game. The Western Bulldogs, of course, came back from about 32-odd points down at three-quarter time, got back to within a 15-point margin on the end, but it was a fantastic effort. It was a great win by Freo, as you say. It all comes down to Wednesday's game where Gold Coast take on Essendon to see who will take that final spot. Just looking at the ladder now, of course, Brisbane up there in third spot. I'll tell you what, it's chopped and changed. Hawthorn were up there before. Now it's Brisbane's turn to go third. Hawthorn down there in seventh. So it could be. I think it's Fremantle Hawthorn if that's the way it goes. If Brisbane win, that's who you'll be playing. Tell you what, that's going to be a cracking game. No matter what game you play in the finals, it's going to be cracking. Paul, Adelaide Crows will play Collingwood in the final. Of course, Geelong will play either Brisbane or Hawthorn, and that's the way it's going to go. I think it's going to be the Giants will play either the Western Bulldogs or Gold Coast, and it looks as though Freo will play either Hawthorn or Brisbane. That's the way it's looking at the moment. Just having a look at the goal scorers out on the ground. We did get a few more goals in that second term, and of course, Moab Chol still with his 3 goals. Gold Coast can still finish 7th. They certainly can. They certainly can. They certainly can with... Oh, that's right. I didn't realise. I didn't see that. Good spotting, Annie G. Good spotting. That's exactly right. Gold Coast Suns. Well, if Hawthorn lose by a bigger margin, then their percentage will drop. And that 1%, Gold Coast probably only need to win by about 3 goals or so. I think you're right. And they will bob up, and then it'll be Freo versus Gold Coast. I tell you what, it doesn't matter who we play. She's going to be tough. Going to be tough. All right, let's just head back down to the commentators, and we'll have a look at some of the stats shortly.
Goal nonetheless, and Mitch Lewis probably lucky to get his before half time as well, but he made the most of it, which Brisbane weren't able to do, certainly in the first quarter. They kicked 8 behinds.
Nathan, goal or not, you saw it. We were dashing down.
It sounded to me like the siren went a smidgen before it hit his boot, but it's when the umpire hears it. So what's the what they say about the speed of sound? Probably a little bit slower, but the ump's the only one that can call it.
Let's have a look at the Harvey Norman highlights. Just before that, though, the live ladder, it's been fluctuating, going up and down. Brisbane lead it currently by 5 points. So on the live ladder, they are nestled into 3rd position in front of Collingwood. Hawthorn is 7th. If Hawthorn was leading by 4 points, they'd be in, and Brisbane will be out. So much to play for.
Absolutely. There's a lot of pressure. There's great atmosphere, isn't it, Bucks? And you feel like Brisbane dominated that second quarter, but the Hawks did well to just hang in there. They hung in around the contest. They were able to get out of the defensive half, make the most of the opportunities. This guy, Kyle Loman's been outstanding, though. Come back into the lineup. He's been injury interrupted all season, but he's a real fire starter for the Lions and kicked 2 in that quarter.
Well, the position that he plays is a really tough position to play. It's hard to get involved in the game often because you really are relying on midfield supply, and you need to feast when you get your opportunities. And the Lions definitely had the bulk of territory, almost 65% across that first half. So he had plenty of supply, but was able to hit the scoreboard hard in that 5-minute period.
You've been keeping an eye on the pressure game, Nathan?
Yeah, look, the Lions were going a little bit uncontested marks until about 10 minutes through that second quarter. Then they started playing surge, but what it meant is that Hawthorn's pressure went from elite elite in that first quarter, or Brisbane's in the second quarter went really high, but Hawthorn dropped away. I just thought the Lions were able to, even on ground ball and contest, they were able to find time and space, force the ball into their front half, and then buffer any of the pressure that Hawthorn put on them. So, they were able to muscle their way through and over the opposition pressure.
For the most part of those 50 stoppages, weren't they, Bucks, where the Lions were able to build that pressure. So the Hawks actually did well not to concede more goals from that area of the ground.
8 behinds before they kicked a major, and in that time, Chol had 3 shots, kicked 3 goals.
Yeah, he did. He made the most of his opportunities. Looked really dangerous early. Leicester was on him for the first couple. I'm not sure about that matchup now. There were quality kicks to him, not much Leicester could have done, and he was able to make the most of those opportunities in the first quarter and teach the Brisbane Lions a lesson on set shot goal kicking.
We can already see it is a finals-like game because it's all about moments. So Marvior's had 3, taken them in terms of scoring, and then he comes out of the ruck and lays that smother, which I thought was brilliant. So it's a game of moments. It's not a September game, but we know that the stakes are as high as they get. The stakes are as high as they get. So we'll be looking at all the little umpiring decisions. All the missed opportunities and the ones that are taken, like Jack Ginnivan snap right on the siren.
David Zeta is in the newsroom. Zeke's Fremantle surprising many over the top of the Western Bulldogs prior to this tonight.
Unbelievable from the Dockers. They have sealed their spot in September. A massive win for them, a 15-point win over the Western Bulldogs. They led by a lot more. The Dogs came late, but ultimately it was the Dockers who saluted. So a massive win for them, powered by a 7-0-0 second quarter, which turned the game on its head. The Dockers are effectively locked into 6th now, so they'll host an elimination final against either the loser of this game or Gold Coast. So the Dogs now sit 8th, but they are going to be hoping against all odds that somehow Essendon defeats Gold Coast on Wednesday night. Both coaches spoke after that elimination final effectively. Here's how it played out. First, Justin Longmuir, and then Luke Beveridge.
From the start of the week, I felt like we reset after the Brisbane game. We didn't catastrophise it. We looked into it and what wasn't us. And we got back on the horse pretty quick, straightened up with some pretty simple focuses, and I felt like there was that sort of performance coming all week from the attitude of the players.
Sort of a north and south pole. I mean, the south pole is, we sort of feel like we've missed an opportunity we've missed an opportunity to play finals right now. So there's a lot of disappointment in all of that. Everyone's, as flat as a shit Carters, there's no doubt about that. So that's the real South Pole. There's a lot of encouragement coming out of the year, as I said, from a club, a team, from an individual perspective. That doesn't override the disappointment of a missed opportunity, though. So the South is a lot more cutting than the North is encouraging right at this point in time.
So Corey Wagner has suffered a torn pec just along your fears, so that could rule him out of at least the first final. Sam Switkowski was involved in a collision, but Longmuir is hopeful he'll be available for the first final, that elimination final, of course. Now, Caleb Sarong, the Dockers obviously hoping he'll be available for the elimination final. There was this incident with Jordan Croft. Now, it does seem like Caleb Sarong is contesting the ball in a reasonable manner. If he's contesting the ball at all times and is doing so in a reasonable way, he has no case to answer, but I'm sure it will still be a nervous night's sleep for him. Just the only bit of doubt there. He was the leading disposal winner for the Dockers, so it goes to show his importance. I think he'll be okay, but again, 24 hours time we'll know for sure. The Giants, now they, barring a draw, are going to finish 5th on the ladder. They had a win over St Kilda. It wasn't without a scare, of course. Toby Green took 2 unbelievable marks late in this game to make sure that St Kilda couldn't get over the top in what would have been a massive upset to end St Kilda's season. So a big win for the Giants that locks them into 5th spot, barring a draw, as I said. And just quickly, Brisbane and Hawthorn are clashing now. They were also clashing during the year for Oscar Allen's services. Now, Oscar Allen, the Eagles have confirmed today, has informed the club of his decision to explore his free agency options. It's expected that will nominate the Brisbane Lions as his club of choice. So the Lions are going to get even better in the coming off-season. A big win for them, you would imagine. And also for the Eagles, who, judging by the offer that could be on the table, they could get Band 1 compensation, which would net them pick 2 in the national draft. So picks 1 and 2 for them to kick-start and recharge their rebuild in earnest. So a win for them, but I think the big win they're looking for is coming in the second half.
Thank you to David Z at halftime here, and the Lions lead the Hawks by 5 points. We were trying to leave the hotel. Toby Green was taking a hanger in the pocket, hit the post, then ran back and take a contested mark. It was incredible in those last couple of minutes, Toby.
Yeah, it was a fair effort. So if you haven't seen it, make sure you get a chance to do it, because you talk about big moments and big players standing up when it's required. He definitely did that. Looking at the Caleb Sarong one, nothing to see here. That was absolute, focus on going and winning the ball, and a reasonable player would be doing exactly that.
Yeah, I think I'm not sure if McGowan's the premier of WA anymore, but they locked the borders again if he got suspended on that. So he'll be right to play the first week of finals. You would have thought Toby Green, that'd be Mark of the Year contender. That is leadership 101. It was fantastic, wasn't it?
Side of the equation, Fremantle. Their season continues. The 2-time Brownlow medalist Nathan Fyfe gets another opportunity. How far can they go?
Well, they've been one of the form teams in the last half of the year, haven't they? It depends, obviously, if they get a home final. They're going to be really dangerous. If Brisbane loses, they'll have to travel over there to play Fremantle, where they'd be the favourite. So if their midfield fires, they're really dangerous because they've got some good young forwards.
16 wins in the season, ultimately, and they would have missed if it was only 15. That's they're bitter pills to swallow, and you heard Luke Beveridge talking about that. The Dogs did a lot right for 15 wins and a really high percentage, but it doesn't get them what they want. So it's a tough school.
What a 3-day wait for the Bulldogs.
No.
Still got to train, still got to do the review meeting. Got to push Mad Monday back. Hopefully for them another week or so. What chance do you give
the Bombers to knock over Gold Coast of Bulldogs fans?
Well, a fighter's chance, but they'd be 10-1 underdogs, wouldn't they? Yeah, probably longer.
Probably longer, I think.
Buster Douglas, Mike Tyson was 42-1.
You never know. Quick break here. The Oz kickers are out, loving their time on the Gabba. The home side leads at 6:10.46 to the Hawks 6:5.41. Top 4 spot up for grabs. You see it all here. Look at that young bloke going off. Good on him. He's the next Wizard Watson. Still going, the young fella. Oh, look at him go. Half time here. Plenty coming on Fox, including AFL 360 on Monday.
All right, folks, while we're just waiting for them to come back off that short break and run us into the second half, we'll get back and have a quick look at some of the stats, what we were saying about the goal scorers and the leading disposal getters on the ground. As I said, Chol leading the way with 3 goals out on the ground. For Hawthorn, Mitch Lewis, Jack Gunston kicked a ripper from the boundary, and of course Jack Ginnivan kicking that one late, right on the siren, to bring Hawthorn back to the 5 points. Kai Lohman, the only multiple out there for the Brisbane Lions. He's kicked 2. Cam Rayner, Hugh McCluggage, Jasper Fletcher and Charlie Brum Brum Cameron are singles for the Brizzy Lions. Just looking at the disposal getters out on the ground. Of course, Will Ashcroft of the Brisbane Lions, he leads the way out there with 16 disposals, 8 kicks, 8 handballs, 3 marks, 2 tackles, 4 clearances. Darcy Wilmot, Sam Marshall, Josh Dunkley, next best with 15 for the Brizzy Lions. And of course, for my gosh, hang on, for the Hawks, I forgot for a moment who the opposition was. For the Hawks, Carl Lamont there tops the table there with 15. My God, where's my memory going, folks? Where's it going? He tops the table there for Hawthorn. 10 kicks, 5 handballs, couple clearances there. Jai Newcomb on 14. There we go. Hugh McCluggage, 14. Also just rolled down. Jack Ginnivan, a little bit lively out there. He's had 13 so far. Kicked that late goal, as I said. 5 kicks, 8 handballs to him. Dane Zorko, just 11 touches tonight. There we go. We'll see him getting to a little bit more workmanlike fashion in the second half when the pressure comes on. James Warple on 10 also for the Hawks. There we go. Sicily on 9. 6 kicks, couple of handballs, couple of marks for him. Calamachi, been a little bit wobbly off the boot with his 9 disposals, 9 kicks. He's kicked 2 behinds and a couple of clearances for him. Kai Lohman, that's a little bit better. 8 disposals, 3 kicks, 2 straight goals. That's what you got to do, Brisbane fans. I tell you what, Nick the Wizard, not much wizardry about his game this evening, folks. He's only had 7 touches, 4 kicks, 3 handballs. Has not troubled the scoreboard yet. The Hawks will certainly be wanting him to get in and amongst it, show a bit of his magic. Chol, as I said, 3 straight goals off his 7 kicks for him this evening. Cam Rayner, another one a little bit quiet there for the Lions, just 5 touches, 2 kicks. He's kicked that 1 goal though. Jack Gunston, I tell you what, he makes every kick count, doesn't he? He's had 3 disposals, 1 kick, 2 handballs, but he did kick that beautiful goal from the boundary, did Jack Gunston. Let's have a look at some of the team stats before we head back. But overall, it's the Brisbane Lions by 30 plus possessions. Are they doing that chip and mark? We'll see their mark at the moment. That's the way they like to do it. Plus 25 in the kicks, only plus 5 in the handballs. Inside 50s, well, there's 9 the difference. Brisbane Lions lead by 9, 33 inside 50s for 16 scoring shots. Hawthorn, 24 inside scoring for 11 scoring shots for them. Disposal efficiency, not too bad for both teams, up and above 70%. Free kicks, well, the umpires, I tell you what, they won't need a new whistle after this game. It's only 8-4. Of course, 8 free kicks to the Brisbane Lions, just 4 to the Hawks. Not a great deal, half a footy. As we said, that's the way we like to see the footy go. Just let the game play on, umpires, and that's what they're doing. In what is like a finals match here this evening. The hit-outs, Hawks are there +4. Clearances only 1 the difference. The Lions +1 there, but the Hawks have got that extra out of the centre. Contested possession, pretty high contested game here. 72-64 uncontested. Well, it's not too bad. Brisbane Lions aren't having it all their own way in that chip and mark. The short kicks, what they do like to do. They're plus 25 there. Turnovers, really low number there for the Lions, so that's really good. 25, season average 63, so they're well under that. Looking at the mark, so they're always in front on the marking count. Brisbane, as I said, it's a part of their game, the small chip etc. like that. I think the game is just about to get underway. Let's just quickly roll down to the tackle count. 25 tackles apiece. I want to see a little bit more pressure put on by both sides. 8 inside tackles to the Brisbane Lions. There we go. Let's pull that back there. We're going to head back down to the ground. And I'll take us into the bounce of the ball for the third quarter. We'll get the second half underway, whereas the Brisbane Lions by 5 points.
Lynchy. And we've got a sub made already before we get into the second half. Lewis off and Roost on. The 34-year-old two-time All-Australian is on the ground. Luke Roost. At quarter time, it was the Hawks by 13, Brisbane by 5 at half-time. And about to get underway.
Lewis taking the scrapping off that hamstring, looks as though.
Second half at a packed Gabba on Fox Footy, and the big build-up, and it's going to be a secondary bounce. Physio called to work there. Fort, Bailey, Dunkley, McCluggage, clean gather, good run towards the square, gives Lohman half a chance, throws his boot at it, and then Morris, little soccer kick. Logan Morris, unconventional, but it got it done.
Yeah, that's right. He'd be keen to get into the game in a very quiet first half. Only 2 disposals. That'll energise him though. The young fella's had a great season in his second year. Premiership player in his first year. He's gone to greater heights this year, over 50 goals. Good centre bounce clearance. We saw this just before half time. The other way for the Hawks. This time quickly, they get it to the one-on-one. They just kept the ball alive.
Yeah, the contest in the forward 50 has been excellent since quarter time in particular, and they haven't mucked around with the ball. They haven't sort of tried to kick mark as much. They've been prepared to go straight line to goal, put the Hawks back 6 under fierce pressure and trust that their ground level and aerial contest is going to be good enough to score, as it has been.
72 career goals now. If you want to know his trajectory, he's the third youngest player to 70. Only 2 in front of him, Jack Darling and Buddy Franklin. Warple trying to extract it out of the middle. Hot start for Lions. Amon slung by Cameron. Gets rid of it just in time. Ward needs to be clean. They're pressing here again. Rayner breaks the tackle. Just losing a hand on it as the Lions. Sicily stands up. There's Bruce's first look for the night. Warple and the runner of Impey now. He'll take them on through the middle of the Gabba. Looping hand pass. They have to wait for it, the Hawks. Under pressure every single disposal at the moment. The Lions starting nicely. And it is a hot footy in the middle of the Gabba. Might spill out. Archie just shrugs a tackle. Sends it forward. Battles underneath the football. Morris, here comes Rayner again. We've seen him long on the right. Now it's long on the left. Cameron! He'll play on. And Charlie bangs it home. Whether there's a review, he's got the little motorbike out. Charlie's got 2. And Brisbane go bang, bang.
Here comes Johnny Denver again, just warming up. Charlie Cameron, he started well the game, so he was a lot better last week. Finding his way into it, gets involved defensively with the tackle. Cam Rayner starting to have an impact now. He's on James Sicily for that centre bounce. The one thing you'll get is you'll get some space with Sicily. You'll be looking for the intercept marks. That time Rayner gets upfield, works back. Good mark there by Charlie Cameron, plays on.
7 of the last 9 goals for the Lions now. But when the motorbike comes out, you know you're in a good space, don't you, Howie?
Picked up, went to Adelaide, 2-time All-Australian, 19 and 23. 4-time Brisbane leading goal kicker. 2024 Premiership player for the man that started at the Crows. In game 250, well done, and they're still singing his song, a cappella style at the Gabba.
He definitely revolutionised forward play for a little while there, and still is, because he's a real aerial threat as much as he's got speed at ground level.
Game high 17-point lead. Rebel out of the congestion. Towards Morris. Battle did okay. Barris has to help. Back to Battle. Day trying to chase him. Now Impey tucks it under the arms with urgency. Almost went too far. Did go too far. Rebel cut it off. Raider, he's becoming a factor. Misses.
We spoke about it, Bucks, at half time. Brisbane's pressure. And they really ramp it up, and they've ramped it up since quarter time, and it's creating some mistakes by Hawks coming out to their defence.
And the man-on-man play through the midfield. Impey had nowhere to go. Impey had nowhere to go then.
They're going to come again through Zorko, struggling to get out of defence on the line, on the stretch. Has he got it, Morris?
Ball touched, throwing.
They are pressing though. Starcevic was a free against. Amon was probably a touch lucky.
Brisbane in the danger zone again. Fort looking to go himself, and then Rayner. Jeez, he's sniffing a goal, isn't he?
Did this last week against Fremantle. He's had some huge second halves when he's had quiet first halves. He's a real impact player. Darcy Fort's been terrific tonight as well.
Brisbane have got the Hawks on the ropes, struggling to get out of defence. They need something. Amon wobbles it forward only as far as the 300-man Zorko. He'll send it back into the middle. Ashcroft, the big gun, starting to light it up now for Brisbane. Sends it out into the pocket. Hardwick gets good position on Loman. Impey will be under pressure. Keeps it away from Cameron. How did he dispose of the football? Cameron wants insufficient. He was winding up there, Charlie. And I think he's been given the free kick. There's a fair way out to go around the body, Cameron. The crowd would love to sing Johnny Denver again. This is to make it 3 quick goals the way of the Lions. In his 250th, he's kicked 2. He's roared back into form, Charlie. Takes his time, visualises it. Just a touch to the narrow side, but by G, they are pressing Brisbane.
Yeah, they've got to get out of their back half here. Hawthorn quite often we saw in this first quarter. Sicily drove it to this commentary side, drove it long and got it over the top.
Sicily directs play to the congestion. Meek.
Do it again.
Good grab from the big man. All of a sudden it's blown out to 20 points. Ward switches on. Out to Sicily. Rayner doing well to close the gap. Impey now in front of the dugout. And now inboard to Hardwick. A little lull goes across the Gabba. What's been a loud night. They're going to switch it again. And now here's Amon.
Needs to be precise going forward to Ginnivan. It is. Brisbane well set up. Pops it forward. We've seen one great finish already from Gunston to be right on his distance, but he has been striking the Sharon sweetly.
I think that would be a direction there because Hawthorn, when they're going well, they're a long switching team, Bucks. Didn't see hardly any of it in the first half. We've seen 2 straight away here in the second half.
There's no doubt that the Hawthorn needed to possess the ball and to turn it into a transition keepings off game for a little while because the Lions have forced contests and been too good in that space.
Difficult shot for Gunston. Hooks it going for the distance.
And they did that from quarter time, and then we've seen them come out of the sheds and do that at the start of the third. So Hawks are a side that normally have their game in order, but the pressure that the Lions have brought have looked to break Hawthorn's game down.
And just leaving defensive 50. They've just got this urgency about them all of a sudden. The Lions early in this third term as Gardner goes to Revel. Next kick interesting. Thought about going towards centre half forward. Goes the pocket instead. Morris out muscled this time. Rayner somehow kept it in. Morris grabbed by Scrimshaw and locked up.
How do they answer this, the Hawks, Nathan?
Well, I think it is a little bit of keepings off. Move the Brisbane Lions around. You need to ask them to do more work in defence. They haven't had to since quarter time. It's been contests and offence for them repeatedly. So Hawthorn need to possess the ball a little bit, force the Lions to choose some of their bickies with the ball in Hawthorn's hands.
Hawks did kick the first 3 of the match all through Barris. Since then has been dominated by Brisbane. Hawthorn by 13 at quarter time, Brisbane by 5 at half time. They've got the opening 2 here. And they're out to a 20-point lead.
There's your live ladder, Bucks. Brisbane 3rd, Hawthorn 7th.
Again, they favour the near side. There's Bruce. over the top of the footy.
Every time now, but he's predictable at least to each other. I know back in our day, Chris Johnson used to kick with Darren White every single kick in. And your opposite, if your team knows about it and your teammates are all aware of it, predictable's better usually.
He'd be facing the other side of the ground though when he did it.
He would too.
Fort lost sight of it. Meek grabbed by Dunkley, and then Jaff over the top, taken high. So Jaff has got a man short in Eamon, who's got a bit of a paddock. Has a saunter and then kicks inside. Forward 50. Deer waits. Ground level. Grabbed by Watson. Quick work. That was clever. Gunston round the corner. Oh, how smart was that? The Wizard and Gunston.
What about the handball on the outside of the hand? Brilliant play. They quickly get the ball down there. So they take the mark there, move it down the field very quickly out of their defensive half. Just have a look at this handball by Nick Watson. Great awareness and obviously a great finish by Jack Gunston, as we've seen many times over his career. Just got a feather on it, I think. They might have paid it back in the day. They might have paid a throw, but...
That was a handball, was it?
Well,
it was. It goes down the book as a handball.
As long as it hits the knuckle. So there must have been we needed a snicker on that to see if it did hit the knuckle, but well done.
Gunston with his second to keep the Hawks.
The last Hawthorn supporter, Howie, was that did he get a fist on that?
I'll have to see if there's any Hawthorn supporters here, Brownie. I'm not too sure. And Meek. Important tap. Ford, he's had a good night. Wound forward by the Lions. Hardwick attacks it. He's got Cameron on his hammer. Gets away from him. Not an easy thing to do. Meek delays the hand pass to Nash. Another opportunity for the Hawks. Scrubs it forward. Deer needs to trap it. He's got more. Harris Andrews collars him and does it nicely, does the skip.
I reckon Dylan Moore would have been expecting it. Just a tap out, just to let him go to work. But good by Deer to keep that ball in after the tackle was laid.
Ball just pinballs around for a while. Ginnivan had it and lost it. And then Fletcher skies one back into the middle of the Gabba. Off hands to Impey. Sends it back, pummels it inside 50. Wilmot wanted a free kick, didn't get one. Fletcher, Fort, standing start. High one back into the middle. Hawks have the numbers, but then Rayners at the fall of the football. Here they go again, the Lions. Morris to Cameron. Bobbled out of his hands. It was a wobbly entry. Scrimshaw, it's like a cake of soap at the moment. Barris back to battle. He's pressured off it. Gallup won the football. Morris to Cameron. Wanted to charge in, has a think about it, goes laterally. They thought about it really well, and Dunkley has a set shot.
Charlie Cameron's down now, and he was down for a long time after lunging at that chest mark. But when the ball looked like it was coming back, he dusted himself off really quickly and was able to get on it.
It's 7 scoring goals already.
He did hit the ground hard here, slid about 10 metres and got up. But how good's this bloke been since quarter time? Josh Dunkley. This will be his 16th touch since quarter time. He's been huge, a big part of their turnaround in contest.
Unique player. Won flags with 2 separate teams directly in front. And that's to the right.
He's had a couple of ordinary sets of goal. Works really hard on his kicking over the ears.
Once again, the near side, long ball is favoured. 2-on-2, Harris Andrews looms large. Lions get it again. McCluggage, bit of footwork, is clever. Wilmot, Rayner just bursts through tackles for a living. Important ball to be won. Fletcher outside of the boot. Impey's in front position.
He's been huge this quarter. Impey, Hardwick, Eamon, they're the ones that look likely at the moment for the Hawks on rebound.
Impey out to Watson and also Ginnivan. They're 2 excitement machines. By hand to Ginnivan. Stops and props to Deer. Deer pressured off the kick. Wobbly entry. Lions ferocious in defence here at the moment. A sky ball. That'll just about bring rain. Who wants it? Revel couldn't control it. Warple stripped from it. Scrimshaw picked it up. Then back to Warple. Hawks press. Little chip. Meek. Big Lloyd's got it.
Yeah, well done. Good awareness. Didn't blaze away there. The saw meat there was on foot. Had the gap. Just popped it out in front.
Had a great year in the ruck last year. He was the second highest in the league for hit-outs to advantage. Another good year. He's kicked 9-5 as far as his goal kicking is concerned, and snuck it in. The Hawks needed it, and they're back in it.
Terrific. They're making the most of their opportunities. Set shot goal kicking tonight. Hawthorn 6 goals 3. Brisbane 2 goals 8. So they've been able to handle the pressure of this occasion. Big crowd, big atmosphere. The Hawks players, when they've had the opportunity, they've gone back and kicked the goal. Meeks had a good battle with Darcy Ford tonight. Ford's probably showed him, I would have thought, but he kicks the goal.
It's their run-off halfback that's starting to look more and more dangerous. They're winning some contests in their D50, which they weren't able to win in the second quarter. And then they're bouncing from there. They've kicked 3 goals, 1 from D50. That is where they look the most damaging. Impey, Eamon, Hardwick winning those important contests and then running hard out of their back 50.
He kicked through it, didn't he?
Kicked the first 2 the Lions, got out to 20 points. Hawks get the next 2. Keep in touch. Warple off the ground. Zorko didn't have the footy. Umpire pulls it. So creative with ball in hand. Zorko slides one forward to Bailey. Plays on. Spreads it wide to Bruce.
He could cover this if he wanted to have a shot.
Keeps a low puncher right to the teeth of goal.
So that was a pass to Logan Morris.
Yeah, could have gone over.
And it was 1.5 metres from the line. It's just that it's probably selfless in a way, but he could easily cover that distance, couldn't he?
Damon wedges it to Ward as they keep moving through the middle. Ginnivan out to sit up for Gunston. Gunston able to trap it with ease, and then his kick looking for deer is errant.
That's good play, though. It's the corridor open up, so Hawthorn nearly every kick in, they've gone to the same side. By the time Brisbane starts playing for that kick and the corridor open up, smart kick by Amon.
Long ball is good. Bailey's got out the back. He'll look to progress it as quick as he can. Just to wait for Maroon jumpers to catch up to him. They want it in the middle of the ground, but he's not happy with what's presenting. Fletcher. Ashcroft. It's Levi. Plays on. Pops it into the flank. Couple of lines fight for it.
Well, Logan Morris had a tough night tonight. Much battle's been on him. One of the premier defenders in the competition battle, crossing over from St Kilda. He's had an outstanding year, Morris.
Shallow throw in, met hard by Day, bobbled out of the hand of Amon as they scrap for it.
Thank you, boys.
I'd love to get him out there sooner rather than later. Lockie Neal. Back for the first final, Brownie?
Yep, back for the first final. Just talking to Harry Kipwood. Be back for the second final if they make it that far.
Okay. Scrub ball. Wilmot having a great night. Gets away from Bruce. Darcy unloads deep. Barris is pushing and shoving. I reckon he's pushed too early. He got right into the back of Ty Gallop.
Yeah, it's gone
the other way. There was a lot of pushing and shoving.
He's played really well tonight. Josh Battle.
So out to Hardwick. And then the handball to Amon. Lohman trying to hunt him down. And then a looping one over the top. Warple using his body. McDonald back to Warple, and now Nash through the middle. Ginnivan hit a brick wall. Look away handball. But he was nudged and gets a free kick.
It's a solid hit. They usually play these ones.
Play on to Eamon, penetrating ball 2-on-2 at the front of the pack, Andrews.
This is the Hawks at their best. You know, that flowing football where they take risks through the middle of the corridor. Lions struggling to defend that ball use from back half again.
Jeff for Dylan Moore. Marshall accesses the footy. Sends it up. Big fly from Rayner. Got one of the Hawks. Battle in the face. Wasn't expecting it. Bruce, quick hand pass. Bailey just stepping expertly through traffic. Now he goes into the middle of the ground. Overcooks it, but they've got space. Marshall runs onto it. Hawks have got the 2-on-1. Hardwick waits down. McCluggage. Toss it in.
That's it.
No, was it a free kick?
McCluggage, yeah, he didn't need to do that, did he? There's a 2-on-1 for the Hawks.
Terrible result for the Hawks. Just that arm across. And then over the left shoulder as well. What about the chase by Dylan Moore back here? Like Marshall's held his width really well, found a lot of the ball. You know, been one of the higher possession getters, 18 touches for the Lions tonight. Played that role really well, but just Dylan Moore head down to try and get there. Just that pressure is just what it's all about. Big games.
17 disposals, kicked the opener after 8 behinds, did Hugh. And centred it in the end. And the Hawks deal with it.
Been good, been strong this quarter, the Hawks, getting out their defensive 50.
17 kickings. It's a lot of practice, isn't it?
It's all going 7 this quarter, the Lions.
So Eamon racking up some possessions and then spears it and over clubs it. Wilmot's there. Now this kick's dangerous. Jeff had a fair bit of it. They almost turned it over. Then Reville. Down the middle he goes to Ashcroft. Will Ashcroft, his eyes dart around. Goes up the middle.
How smart was that? The composure. So often we see players rush in that situation. Will Ashcroft, he has all the time in the world. He just waits for his troops to get inside 50, then picks the right option. Sam Mitchell frustrated.
Yeah, and not a hint of anxiety either in Will Ashcroft. It's never like a duck on a pond.
So kicks right on the arc. Hugh McCluggage. And another opportunity goes begging with their 18th behind.
Scores from set shots, 2-9 to 6-3.
2 goals, 15 down that end, Graham.
Must be a hex down there. Meek in the air. Here they'll come again, the Lions. Flips out wide, D'Ambrosio and Marshall, who's had a good night. McDonald tries to intervene. Lions again at ground level where they've been most of the night.
I think these two players become aware of it, especially if it's your own team. The pressure builds, so it compounds. The next one, the next one, the next one. The pressure gets higher and higher. All of a sudden the goals feel like they're about half a metre wide, even from directly in front.
It's very rarely that you're up by 12 points and it's 12 points.
Through the fingertips of Nash, Ashcroft scurries it along the ground on hands and knees. Gullett gave his teammates a chance. Then McCluggage ran into Impey. Then Bailey. He can be spectacular offline again.
Hawks are on a hurry down the outer side. Starcevic gets a hand and cuts off Gunston. Let's have a look at the live ladder. Hawthorne currently in 7th. So they'd at this stage be fronting up to Fremantle. We need to await on what the Suns do against the Bombers, and percentage and all sorts comes into it. Brisbane nicely nestled in the top 4 at the moment.
McDonald having to run after his own work. Grabbed by the skipper in Sicily. Out to Warple. Long kick. No mark taken by Moore. Diaz at the front of the pack. Bouncing ball. And it's going to be locked up. Good defensive work again from Andrews, but that's no surprise. McDonald working hard in the clinches.
Lloyd and Darcy go head-to-head inside 50. Squirts out to Lohman. Drop one, he just about had Amon. Finds a little bit of space. Sends a long ball forward, just Carl Amon.
Yeah, really costly drop mark there by Lohman.
And that's Amon's 11th touch for the quarter. He's been
Big first quarter, big third quarter.
Yeah, just getting the ball in dangerous spots. When he can get the ball through the corridor, his kicking skills can cause a lot of damage.
Long ball here. Lester and Impey go at it. Comes to D'Ambrosio, who's going to kick it hard to the top of the square. Fletcher lost sight of it in the lights. Gets a second chance. Dangerous here for the Lions. Chol with the tackle. Deer with the hand pass. McDonald tries to dive over it. It squirts out the side. Still alive here. Comes to Warple, who's grabbed by Lohman. Hot footy. Meeks little tap. Newcomb dances around his opponent. Back to Sicily. They're giving ground. Then he throws it on the boot with an absolute bomb. Through for a behind.
Well, that half step, 65 metres, is a fair effort.
We win the kickoff between him and Bruce Reveal.
So he's lucky to get away with that, Wilmot. There was no eyes for the ball and only for Chol.
Brisbane on the outer side. Back to Ashcroft. He's got the runner. Zorko just keeps powering through.
His head there.
Amon drops it, but he's got time to recover to Impey. Good user. Out wide. D'Ambrosio sees something in the form of Watson being reasonably well held. Darts around. Watson has to be picture perfect. The kick. Deer. Dunkley exits. Ball to be won here. Impey. Day tracks him back. Not sure how he got rid of that. Looked like it was off the elbow. Umpire says play on. Crowd doesn't like it. Watson, another possession for Avon. Chol will cover it behind. Nearly stood on Deer. Moore tries to burst his way through. Free kick. Which way is it going? On the ball.
It's either going to be higher or holding the ball. The umpire was right there.
I thought that was a free kick against Wilmot, that last entry. But his game's been first class. He's winning a lot of important contested ball. His ability just to take, be facing away from his goals, turn around and go 180 degrees and then turn defence into attack's been first class.
He's had an outstanding season.
Last 5 minutes, intense football. We're playing for Sheep Stations tonight. Will Ashcroft. Oh, that could be dangerous. He's going to have to regather here. And then has a bounce off a standing start to Archie. Then to Ashcroft, who was driven into the turf by Jaff. Then McDonald getting interested. Back to Sicily. Looping ball. Volleyball tap by Newcomb. Gee, they're going in hard now. Fletcher grabbed. On toast.
Well done, Hawthorne. They've ramped the pressure up this quarter.
They spill it forward immediately. Centering ball. Marshall arrives with Deer at the same time. Big moments in the game. Hawks looking to press. Bruce throws his head over the footy. He'll get it free. Nash plays on, kicks the goal.
Below the knees.
It's against Bruce for below the knees, and we go the way of the Lions.
Great tackle by Jack out in the wing.
Couple of excellent tackles. Well, I thought that was a bit hot, but there's no doubt that Fletcher tried to step around Newcomb.
Gee, I tell you what, finals footy's come to the Gabba a couple of weeks early. It is intense down here at ground level.
So Zorko, penetrating ball through the wing. And you heard the umpire free kick today.
He's done some nice things, Sam Day, tonight. He's been down the line, competed really well in the air.
I thought they would take the one in the set mark this quarter.
Field sets, Day with the long kick. Morris nudge to the front. Lohman with the crumbs up against the boundary line and then misses everything.
Some people like expected scores. Some people feel they're a little bit like temperatures where you say it feels like.
What are we looking at?
Plus 43 Brisbane. They should be leading by 43 on expected scores if that's your paper.
Reasonable to suggest Kai wasn't trying to hit the centre corridor then. He's having a ping.
Amon has had a massive turn.
I think expected scores are a waste of time.
Well, I think it's a bit like, feels like in temperature. Temperature's the temperature. Meek does well for a big man. He's not sure what to do now, so he just shins it out on the full. Nice!
Handball it off, big man.
Wouldn't it feels like be more important than the actual temperature?
How do you decide what it feels like without looking at the thermometer?
It feels like Brisbane should be 43 up.
Feels like ruckman shouldn't try to kick when they're running.
So a bit of keepings off. Final 30 seconds of what's been a pretty intense third quarter. Brisbane leading by 11 after the lead by 5 at half-time. Loban at the back, no mark. Impey. Scrimshaw. Little darting one to McDonald, who's had a busy third term. Sirens about to sound, and there's a scrimmage on the mark. Jack's got to be careful. Finals football has come to the Gabba.
Taking on the Ashcroft brothers. Not quite the Crows.
Well, blood's thicker than water. He's played on, and that's before the siren. As the siren sounds, footy gods, according to the Brisbane fans. Bit happening at the Gabba. So after it was 5 at half-time, Brisbane lead by 11.
And the message obviously didn't get out from the bench that the siren was about to sound, because Amon, geez, you could argue that should have been reversed, but it wasn't. Amon obviously didn't get the message that the siren was about to sound. He shouldn't have gone for that handball receive.
Ended up kicking the goal, but it was after the siren. So three-quarter time here. Bit of punch and fire in this one. Brisbane lead it by 11 points. Top 4 up to grabs. They've dominated the game, Brisbane. They haven't put the Hawks away. Directly after this, Joey, Jay-Z and Kingy first crack. Don't miss it on Fox.
Well, folks, who's going to end up victorious tonight in this game so far? It is the Lions, 11 points up, 8-19, 67. I tell you what, they're just not kicking straight, are they? Again, the Lions, 19 behinds, 8-8, 56, the Hawks. Lions putting on two goals, 9 in that third term. Tell you what, that's just as bad as their opening term with 8 behind straight for the Lions. What's going on, Lions? Chewy on the boot. 2 goals, 3 to the Hawks. Wow. I tell you what, lots of punch and fire going on. I tell you what, it could spark up in the final quarter there. We can only hope, Andy G, that it gets on, and we get a couple of suspensions out of this game. That would be all right for the teams they're going to play next week, I'll tell you what. But yeah, I tell you what, anyone can win this game. I tell you what, it's going to be hard for the Lions to be defeated, but the Hawks, we know that Ginnivan, I tell you, you get under Ginnivan's skin, he can certainly react. He's got a hot temper, we'll certainly see. It's absolutely hilarious. I tell you what, played on, goal not scored after the siren, that would have been interesting, closer. I tell you what, it would help Freo. It would help Freo for sure. You don't want him or the Wiz getting on fire. That can certainly bring a little bit of a spark to the team. So I tell you what, I still don't know who's going to win. What's the poll say? So Phil, we're down, getting closer, 52% now. 52% say Brisbane, 48% say Hawthorn. So we're still a little bit even Stevens in the poll in the chat. Still a little bit hard to decide who's going to win. I'm still not sure who's going to win. I think it's going to be the team who takes the moments, the big moments in these games, like we saw in the GWS game today. It was moments that got them over the line. Can moments get one of these two teams over the line? And no doubt, I tell you what, the Brisbane Lions would certainly want to kick a little bit straighter in this final term if they want to put the Hawks away. As they said, it feels like the Lions should be a lot further ahead, but if you don't kick straight, you leave the fridge door right open for the opposition to sneak in and grab something out of the fridge. There we go. And that's exactly what the Lions, 27 scoring shots to 16 No, it's just 11 points. Hey, who's the goal scorers at three-quarter time? Let's just have another recap of that mob. Chol still leads the way with 3. Jack Gunston bobbed up with 1. He's got 2. Lloyd Meek, Mitchie Lewis, Jack Ginnivan with singles for Brisbane. Kai Lohman, Charlie Cameron still lead the way with 2 each for the Lions. Cam Rayner, Logan Morris, Hugh McCluggage, Jasper Fletcher with singles. The ball magnets, let's have a look who's leading at three-quarter time. Well, Carl Amon there for the Hawks, the only one in the 30s, 31, 7 clear of Josh Dunkley. There you go. There are your top 2 possession getters out on the ground. Tell you what, we're in for a fantastic ring-a-ding-ding-ding final quarter, folks. Stay tuned because we're heading back down to the ground now. We're only a minute and a bit out from the bounce of the ball for the final quarter. Who's going to make top 4? Is it going to be Brisbane Lions or is it going to be the Hawks? That's what they got on the line. That's what they're playing for this evening, a top 4 position. All right, let's head back down to the ground for an enthralling final quarter where it's the Lions by 11 points.
In it, Brisbane went bang, bang to start the third. Cameron in 250, kicked a couple. That was his second. And then right on three-quarter time, clock ticking, McDonald wasn't told that the siren was about to sound. There was a bit of push, a bit of shove, Jack Ginnivan involved. The Ashcroft boys came in and it got a bit feisty. Then Brosio stepped in. The Wizard thought he'd have a crack as well. All the meanwhile, Amon thought he had time, kicked the goal, but the siren had gone. And then there was a bit of push and shove into the break. Three-quarter time here, Brisbane have dominated the game. But they lead it by just 11 points. Alistair Lynch is down on the ground.
Yeah, we just saw it. Carl Amon missed by just half a second of kicking a goal. He had a huge quarter. He had 16 disposals and 543 metres gained. He's clearly the highest rated player on the field. And you just feel if Hawthorn are going to get over the line, it's going to be on the back of the likes of Carl Amon and maybe even Jarman Inky off halfback. But his ability to run and carry the ball and mostly hit targets has been first class. You would think Chris Fagan and his coaching team may look to put a clamp on Carl Amon. I reckon it might be Kel Archie. We've seen him do the job in the past on the likes of the running halfbacks. Kel Archie may be the one to go to Carl Amon and shut down this run and this potential match-winning game from the live wire off halfback.
Not sure it's going to be Cam Rayner who's going to stick with him, but Cam Rayner's the man for Brisbane. He's their match winner. He's their power player, so he's going to get up and get involved around the front of the stoppages, but expect him to have a big involvement, or certainly trying to have a big impact and involvement in this quarter.
The Lions will want the game in contest and Hawthorn want it out in the open. So that'll be the challenge in the next 30 minutes for each team.
And what a crucial 30 minutes it is. Winner a top 4 spot. Elimination final for the loser. Fort and Meek fought down to McCluggage. So it bobbles around in the centre of the ground. Smothers good towards Rayner. Rayner getting involved in the second half, but straight to Barris.
Go with him. A lot of intercept marks for the Hawthorn boys tonight. Just that's their 6th. They've been able to repel pretty well.
Ginnivan will try and work his way to the front. Jaff used his body well on Archie. Delays it, puts Impey into a bit of a pocket. Now he has to give it to Lloyd. Wants to use, well, he's not sure what he wants to use. Gets in trouble, gives it back to Impey, which is probably the correct decision. Massages the ball forward. Working off the ball is Newcomb. Here comes Ward, McDonald. The Hawks looking for the perfect start. Drops it forward to Bruce. Does this for a living, the 22. Hands it off. Dylan Moore with a perfect start for the brown and gold.
Yeah, great transition again from back half, and seen this bit in the third quarter, Bucks. Early in this last, quick handballs. Flick the ball by hands, keep the ball moving. By the time they get through, and they're good enough to get through the Lions' pressure.
Yeah, bit of run and carry along the boundary initially, and then this one went inside, and Harris Andrews looked like he'd made the right play, but Hawks were on it front and centre. And then you've got some elite finishers that are in that front half for Hawthorn, so any wonder why they want to get the ball all the way there. But Ward, excellent there to be able to feed McDonald and then just to find a way through the Lions' pressure in that D50 to be able to get the first goal on the board in the last quarter.
Well, they've chipped away the Hawks and they've kicked the last 3. So Meek with the big fist down. McCluggage hit the ball and hit a wall. Gunston back to Newcomb. Little sidestep, then another one. Then another one towards 40 metres. Eyes for Bob Newcomb.
Jeez,
That would have been something.
How good was that? 3. He sold the candy 3 times.
Looked like Lee Matthews coming out of the middle in his halcyon days with that number 3 on his back.
Certainly not Jordan Lewis. Moved a bit quicker than Jordan Lewis, Bucks.
Dunkley just playing with Impey on the mark. To a contest, Barris with the fist as he's typical of the way he operates. Fort scoops it out to Day. Wobbles one forward, close to the line. Hardwick. Happy to see Cameron take it across.
Yeah, big roll there, Blake Hardwick in the last quarter. See back battle there. Logan Morris there in shot. Sort of tough game against Josh Battle.
So live ladder.
Charlie just moving to the goal square, getting the most dangerous position. Live ladder, still Brisbane 3rd, Hawthorn 7th.
Jath kicks blindly. It's a real up and under. Ginnivan just tried to fashion some sort of a mark. Then Nash worried out of it. McCluggage paddles it to Archie. Bit hot for Zorko. Composes himself. McCluggage. Little chip. It was just a little overcooked. And now the slingshot. Amon. Newcomb running through the middle of the Gabba. Handball too hot for Bruce. And here is Fletcher.
Let off there for the Lions after the overcooked hand pass. They're going to send it back the other way, but desperation. Sicily dived, nearly lost his strides in the process. Nash to McDonald. Punches it forward. Gunston took it on and worked it nicely into a pocket. Ginnivan will look to go on Gardner if he gets a chance. Gardner does well not to infringe. Remarkably, the Hawks only trail by 4 points. 8-19 to 9-9. Dylan Moore kicked the opener of the term. Take his best, Moore.
They look up and about, the Hawks through the midfield.
Yeah.
There's a lot of those 50-50 contests that they're winning at the moment.
It feels like.
Take everything he's got, Dylan Moore. Loads it right to the teeth of goals. Bobbles around and Brisbane take care of it.
Yeah, you're right. I just wonder, Hawthorn's energy around the ball has lifted, especially around half back.
Wilmot and Bailey working in concert with each other. Inside defensive 50. Leicester. And look at Bailey sprinting hard. And then his little depth handball to Ashcroft. McCluggage was grabbed. Day. Here they go. Ashcroft back to McCluggage. Keeps running. Can he spear it through? He can. Teamwork at its absolute very best as Hugh kicks 2.
That's the 2025 Lions, isn't it? The preparedness to take the game on through the midfield, regardless of how many bodies the opposition put there. And, yeah, there was a couple of opportunities here where the ball could have been turned over one way or another. A tackle where the ball comes to ground, but then there's a Lion who's the next player on it.
So 4 disposals already this quarter, McCluggage. And Bailey's the other one too, isn't he? Can just take the game on through the middle.
See, with this game style at the pointy end of last year. So what do you reckon they're going to go to in the last 20 minutes when you need to win a game that's effectively a final?
4 times he's made the squad All-Australian, but never got the jacket. Hugh McCluggage tonight, 24 disposals, 2 goals, 2. And he's having a spell, the Warrior. Brisbane skip again. Maynard taps it forward. Ward needs the bounce.
I reckon they might have his blazer numbers this year.
We'll see it Thursday night on Fox. Rayner pressing again, Brisbane. Nash.
But that run and carry stuff, that really in close hands, even the ones that don't hit the target, it keeps the ball inside. It keeps them where they want it, which is in the little circle where they can use the big bodies. Because if they don't receive the hands, then they can stick the tackle.
Impey's hack kick. Gardner tried the spoil. It was enough to get to Wilmot. Then he was collared. They're ferocious here, the Hawks. And now Watson gets on with it quickly. Deer's going to set himself. Couldn't quite rake it in. Grabbed by Bruce. Given to Ginnivan. Ginnivan! He could be spectacular. Hit the post this time.
Great tackle by Watson.
It was a great tackle, wasn't it?
He's been getting out of those situations all night. But just a special effort by Watson to put in those last couple of strides to stick the tackle.
It's the game we wanted on Sunday night.
What a finish.
8-point margin. In front of a packed Gabba. Hawks have got numbers out the back. Advantage paid to Impey. Takes it, the number 4. Streams forward. Good use of the body. Lester falls to the back, though. Snap out of the pack. Right to the square. And Harris is there, the great defender.
6-2 inside 50s this quarter in favour of Hawthorn.
Stausevic.
See Hawthorn trying to take away the uncontested marks, not allowing the Lions to build their game.
So forced to kick to a wall. Barris at the back. Goes with the fists. Grabbed by Gallup. Ward grabs him.
Hawthorn by 13 at quarter time. Brisbane 5 at half time. 11 at three-quarter time. A goal apiece for the term.
Insufficient. It's an easy one.
Brisbane's forwards are so high through the midfield for clearance.
Trying to come up and congest stoppage.
Yes.
Barris thought about a little detour across the back line, but finds Ward. Start to do a little bit of extra work to complete the grab. Ward, penetrating ball now towards full forwards. Meek! He's clunked it.
Great grab. He's had a good second half, mate. I thought Fort got the better of him in the first half. He's been getting involved even at ground level, but that's a great contested mark. The disappointed Harris Hendricks was in that contest to help out. Just got held off well enough by Kalshadir, which was really important.
So, Lloyd Meek, one of the most important kicks of his career so far. And all of a sudden, down that end, Hawthorn are becoming wasteful.
Brisbane looked to reset through Wilmot immediately. One of the Lions' best tonight. He's been outstanding to Rayner.
Yeah, who needs to get involved, Rayner, this last quarter? The Brisbane Lions are going to win.
Kick one long, magnificent goal in the shadows of half-time. Then Ginnivan pinch one. Literally half a second on the clock. Good grab. Archie, centre wing. The Lions patiently build.
So Archie, after initial hesitation, fought, set himself, eventually fisted over.
3 long kicks and 2 to contest. Brisbane want to keep it down the line, keep it as much in tight as they possibly can, because it looks like Hawthorn are the ones that are getting out.
And what are the Hawks doing better?
Well, they're getting out into space. They've been able to win some of those 50-50s and then change the angle.
Warple, Burrows to Meek, Moore. Hose it forward, Gunston. Well trapped by the Lions. Back to Fletcher. The 1-2 down towards Day. Out the back. Big ball to be won. The Hawks look to tie it in.
That's just a really good bit of play. Just to be able to take the contest. Hardwick, very smart footballer. Can't afford to let that ball spill out at any stage. Takes the tackle, drew the stoppage. Allow the cavalry to get around.
Out of the ruck, Fort, the big man, was touched off the boot anyway.
Haven't used their sub yet, the Lions. Tunstall. Late in the day. Mitch Lewis subbed out at half-time for the Hawks. Nothing really forward of the ball. Just going to have 2 to beat. Just had to move it. He did pretty well, but Harris Andrews was back there sweeping. Marshall had a good evening. Here's something for the Lions. Looking to finish off the Hawks. Bailey pops it in again to McCluggage, who's dominating this game, is you.
Yeah, geez, he's working hard. Yeah, McCluggage, he's realised the situation.
Yep. Go back. Take your 30 seconds. This is a leader's opportunity. Jasper back with the fight. Fletcher back with the fight there. And this hands here by Harris Andrews. It's like third slip.
It's a tough pocket to kick them from, this one.
25th disposal. He's kicked a couple. McCluggage pokes it forward. Barris will look to fist, and Meek takes care of business.
It's almost like it was a centering kick. Just didn't kick through that at all.
Just feels if the Hawks get the next goal, it's like their momentum continues, and that becomes extremely dangerous.
Going to break open.
So Scrimshaw happy to leave the square with a gallop. Hitting the pack hard was Deer, goes to ground, and that's not going anywhere.
This is what you want in a big game. The game's in the balance. Both sides look like they've got their chances. There's no easy ball out there.
A lot of one-on-ones around the ground.
Hard and tough inside.
Fisted forward by Fort. Ward screws it back round the body. Wilmot used his nicely. He's got Bruce to ground. He's been a thorn in Hawthorne's side all evening. Darcy Wilmot sends it forward. Battle comes with a fist. Impey, can he accelerate? Good tackle. Gallup. Now Sicily. Barris took a bit of time to get rid of it. He's swamped by the Lions. They're pressing here. Sicily arrives. Helps the Hawks out. The skipper now. They ran back the other way. The Poowong fly, Newcomb trapped from behind. On to Ginnivan, he's got runners. Oh, Wilmot, look at him. He goes again, back to Moore. Big moment in the game, forward hand pass. The Brisbane tackling is elite.
How was that? That was brilliant. Smothers, tackles. About 10 players got involved there. Otherwise, Hawthorne were out. Amazing smother by Wilmot. Great cover play here now by Ryan Lester. Young Gallup's been fantastic in defence as well.
Have a look at that pressure.
Will Ashcroft looking for Archie, off hands, grabbed by D'Ambrosio. Back to Battle, who was very good initially. Little Chip Fletcher from the back, fisted down. Chol and also Fort, who can pick it up. Chol did really well in the end. Hurried kick and a behind. They're chipping away. Gunston with the behind. It's back to 8 points.
Just the Lions' pressure over 220. That last 10 minutes, they've had to do a lot of defensive work to shut down Hawthorn's ball use.
Captain Casual Harris, just one-handed. On to Rayner. Good use down the outer flank. Dunkley.
I feel like this is what Brisbane need. Just to make Hawthorne chase for a little bit. Just to use up a little bit of juice and defence, because Hawks, to me, look like they've got greater energy, Bucks.
Well, the Lions want to connect inside 50.
Rayner's long searching ball out the back. Eamon with some work to do. Bailey infringed crudely. Free kick.
It's unlike the first half, they've been able to hold the ball in their front half. The Hawks have been able to get out where the Lions were turning this one over.
33rd disposal for Amon. He is racking up the metres gained. Warple sends it forward. Harris comes out with a raging boot. Well taken by Deer. He's got Jath. He's got Watson further ahead of the footy. Looks a bit undecided. Ignores the Gunston lead. Ignores Watson. Now looks inboard. Played it nicely, and a big kick coming up for Jack Ginnivan.
Interesting decision by Gardner there. Maybe he had Watson in the pocket in his eyesight, but he dropped off here and let Ginnivan run up into that hole, assuming that a teammate would cover. Good patience by Jath to find him.
One of the biggest kicks of the season for the number 33 to bring back the Hawks to within 2 points. How we would love this. Jack Ginnivan, stuttering approach. It's coming from Ginnivan. It's there! Superman! Sixes! Turns to the crowd, he's got 2. And somehow the Hawks are within 2 points.
Yeah, straight out of the phone booth, Clark Kent. What a beautiful kick, though, in the moment. They need to use their momentum. They've had it for they've had it for most of this last quarter, but they need to kick it. They've been a little bit wasteful in front of goal. It's the one, Jack Gunston. You thought he would have gone here. Maybe he just wasn't back on his front foot there, Jack, so he waited till he was set. In the end, it all worked well.
10 insides to the Hawks, 7 to Brisbane. Of Brisbane's 7, a lot of them have been shallow entries, and the Hawks have been able to rebound off it.
Hawthorne looking more dangerous.
They are. Quarter. And Ginnivan is a hard-working high forward. 23 touches in that position. It's not easy to do. He's been able to do it consistently, especially the back half of this year.
And because of that lack of run, the sub has been made. Tunstall into the game, Gallop out.
Long ball from Nash for the Hawks. Harris meets it with a little bit of composure. Now, that was off hands from the Hawks, I reckon. It's going to be thrown in.
So just to repeat, there's the sub. Ty Gallop subbed out. James Tunstall into the game.
Hawks by 13 at quarter time, Brisbane by 5 at half time, Brisbane by 11 at the final break. 2 goals to 1 for the term. The Hawks are as close as they've been for a long time.
Thanks, John. Guys, I'm back in the boundary.
Goals 21 to the home side. Chol kicked the opening 3 goals of the match. Warple.
There is James Tunstall, 12th game tonight.
You just know there's going to be 2 or 3 moments that are going to make a difference in this contest, don't you? 7 minutes of footy left.
Fought to Dunkley. Set up for McCluggage. Grabbed by McDonald. Loose comes out to Watson. To Warple. Runs into a wall. Then Levi Ashcroft. Back to Marshall. McCluggage. Rayner running. Tries to fend off. Did it really well against Sicily in the end with the inboard kick. Then Cameron couldn't quite control it. Came back to Marshall. Young man cool in a crisis. Through the legs of Morris. Then it was Cameron to Rayner. Rayner's kick towards the top of the square. Revel flies. Tunstall fresh on the ground. Couldn't quite grab it. Hatches over the top. Goes again. Cameron putting some pressure on. Hawks under enormous pressure. Abram got the handball out. And they're going to pay insufficient intent. It's going to be a free kick to the Lions.
I don't know how you can pay that.
Well, it actually went straight out. He was almost out of bounds before he handballed it.
We were talking about that during the week. That can't be a free.
There'll be a few things out of tonight. They'll be talking about kicks on the siren, etc.
Massive kick.
Bruce Revel. Biggest kick of his career. Biggest kick of his career. And to a man, they stand at the Gabba.
Oh, how good, Matt Hill. He stands up all right. Brucey Revel, he realises Ginnivan's at the moment. The Lions just up against it. You feel like Hawthorne coming over the top of him. They needed this kick. He's very composed. We'll obviously go to the replay and have a look whether this should have been a free kick or not. They usually pay them, don't they? Insufficient intent, but the pressure of the game. I thought it was pretty sloppy attempt, Bucks, by Amon. I'm not sure he was doing his best to keep that ball in.
Right, okay.
I think more often than not they pay it these days.
What a finish by Brucey Reveal. Again, Brisbane with the answers. 8-point leaders.
Not convinced, Bucks?
No, not as convinced as you are.
Meakin fought. Top 4 up for grabs. The losers cast into an elimination final. McCluggage, so good tonight. Loman's got a couple. Here they come again, Brisbane. Rayner, the man of the moment, Rayner! Cam Rayner knows his second big goal of the night. But the Hawks are on their knees.
search play, isn't it? So there's the hit out that goes towards. A little handball, forward handball, and then you get a little bit of patch of space to be able to finish, and that's a class finish off 2 or 3 steps with bodies all around. And Lions players just following up, coming from behind, playing with momentum, just that forward footy.
Yeah, they needed it in the clinches. How often we've seen this man stand up in second half, especially this year.
Back in the middle, another clearance from the Lions. Dunkley to Bailey, long ball in the Cameron direction, too long.
In this quarter, they've started him out of the goal square. Charlie Cameron, the match winner, the other match winner, along with Cam Rayner. Tough match up for Hardwick.
Brisbane in 3rd, Hawthorn in 7th. Cam Rayner's had 2 big moments tonight. Brisbane pressing, looking to finish this one.
It's going to be really hard for Hawthorn. They've got to get it from the inside to the outside, and the game's been all inside this quarter.
From the stoppage, McCluggage got it out. Then it was Will Ashcroft to Lohman. Nash and Ginnivan both grab him.
Well tackled.
Ball up.
He leaned in for the free kick there. Lohman just lowered his body height.
I think you see the Lions players happy to take tackles and chew up as much of the clock as they can in this next little period.
The reigning premiers with the last 2 after being challenged. Archie to the teeth of goal. Cameron battles with Hardwick.
I reckon Blake Hardwick is the best small defender in the comp at the moment. There's no harder bloke to beat in that within 30 metres of Hawthorn's or the opposition goal. He's been first class.
He's strong in the air, strong at ground level. It's a beautiful kick.
So Hardwick right down the middle. Do the Hawks have an answer in the final 5 minutes? Some heavy contact. The 300 gamer. Dane Zorko picks himself up. Warple breaks the pack with the kick inside 50. Juggling mark, diving mark, Starcevic.
1-on-1 mark there, Starcevic. Had a mixture of roles tonight on talls and smalls. Luke Bruce this time.
He's hard to beat in the marking contest, Luke Bruce. He uses his body so well.
Cheers for the 300 gamer Zorko. They love him. 5-time best and fairest winner. Now they're happy to wind the clock a bit, Brownie.
Yeah, he's a ripper. Great clubman as well. Won 4 best and fairest before he got to the Lions, playing for Broadbeach. Been an amazing story. And a great battle tonight with Jack Ginnivan.
Tunstall. Happy for the clock to keep on ticking away. Tunstall to half forward. Morris has a second crack. McCluggage drops it. Sicily smothers it. Barris, Watson, Nash breaking free. Impey, Bruce. Is there some sort of final challenge from the Hawks? Kick was a shocker. Tumble towards Gunston. Scrap is on. Andrews over the top. No surprise. And a ball up.
I'd be disappointed with that kick, Luke Bruce. Coming through the centre on his left. Jack Gunston was there.
Hawks need something to happen here.
Brisbane once again with 3 forwards in and around the stoppage, congesting that contest, trying to force it into contest as much as possible.
Sicily pushing forward now.
Zorko out of the ruck, straight down the throat of Barris, who was stationary in the middle of the ground. And then he pummels it forwards, punched away from Bruce. And then Ashcroft, clever little tap to Revel, then to Wilmot. Here they come blazing through the Gabba again. Cameron out wide. And Archie and the Lions can build it if they want to. Archie happy just to settle it down as he probes it out to Rayner.
Takes valuable seconds. Hardwick with the spoil.
It's hard to beat the experience of the Lions in this.
Just like some composure, Hawthorne. So, you know, Bruce running through the centre of the ground, needed to hit Gunston, and then Tom Barras just blazed away when he had Sicily on the open side in a a favourable one-on-one contest against Tunstall.
Meat goes himself. Round the corner. Chol, Bruce. And then eventually it tumbles out to Jaff. They're open here. Here comes Watson. The Wizard driving in. It's not over yet.
We've seen games go all the way to the wire, haven't we? Especially today. Like the Dogs didn't give up on Freo, kicked 8 late goals and looked to show until right up to the end. We saw the Giants in the St Kilda game. The Giants having to pull something out late in that contest to be able to secure their position. And now the Hawks just not wanting to let up. A couple of minutes of footy here, goal and a half down. Still up for grabs.
4 goals from D50. The Hawks have looked good when they've been able to stretch it out, get on the move. Good finish there by Watson.
3 goals apiece for the term.
Hawks need a centre bounce goal of their own, don't they?
They got one right on half-time through Ginnivan. The most important clearance of the night is about to happen right here. Meek, Ward, Newcomb gets it, wobbles one forward. The Hawks need a mark. Yeah, really well done by the man that came on.
Sicily going forward there, so Tunstall comes on as the sub.
Impey took off from behind the ball and was looking for that handball over the top from Newcomb.
Tunstall. His teammates reckon he looked like Roger Federer. Kicks it to Wilmot. And he's going to detour out to Dunkley. Dunkley in plenty of space. So they're happy just to massage it around now. McCluggage. He's kicked 2 goals tonight. Less than 2 to play. And then Rayner fills the hole. So Rayner chips it towards the pocket. And that's a good mark, Barris.
Just has to go. Big Tom. Minute and a half on the clock. Hawks have to kick 2. Has to throw caution to the wind. Chol's going to be outside. Look at Harris Andrews.
Jeez, his hands have been brilliant in the last quarter.
What a player. Has to be All-Australian this year. He's had a fantastic year, the co-captain.
Out to Tunstall. So just happy to settle it all down as Tunstall again, the chip towards the pockets. Pack forms. Morris had a little bit of it, brought it to ground, no mark.
Perfect scenario there now for the Lions. Let's congest this forward stoppage. Been a lot of forward 50 stoppages, Bucks, for Brisbane.
Traditionally, they've forced them a lot, haven't they?
Ashcroft tries to step through. Rayner. He's kicked 2. Across the face. Revel, D'Ambrosio. Bailey attacks it hard. 37 seconds on the clock. The Hawks send it into the middle of the ground. Starcevic, if he hits a target, it is Big Brucey.
What a roll go around.
Chris Fagan knows. Charlie Cameron knows. And Bruce Reville with a bit of icing on the cake. He's punked the coach.
I wonder what he's going with. The players weren't really responding now.
A big step to defending the premiership. Bruce Revel. The Lions get the job done. It's just about the margin. From 45. Misses, but it doesn't matter. In a heavyweight clash, Brisbane celebrate because they know they're top 4. They'll finish 3rd. And the Hawks are consigned to the bottom reaches of the 8. Time, Marbury Chol kicked the first three. Brisbane led by 5 at the major break, 11 at three-quarter time. Hawthorn got within 2 points but couldn't head them. Rebel and Rayner with a late one from Watson. Brisbane by 10 points, and they are sitting third on the ladder with a double chance.
Yeah, great effort, Howie, it was. It really was. They've had a difficult draw, so to earn top 4 is a massive effort. Got the 16.5 wins, was it? I'm sure it could be maths, but that was fantastic. Backs against the wall. I felt if Hawthorn just had more energy early in that last quarter, and they're going to come over the top of the Brisbane Lions, who probably should have been further in front with their goal kicking, especially in the first half. But the Hawks kept coming, and then there was that turnover in the middle of the ground, and ends up in Bruce Reville's hands, and he goes back and kicks a wonderful goal. Third on the ladder, Brisbane. So we've got now Brisbane to play Geelong in the qualifying final next week, and Adelaide will play Collingwood in Adelaide, the return match after what happened last week. It's going to be unbelievable. There'll be an explosion over in South Australia. And remember the prelim finalists from last year, Geelong and Brisbane, 93,000 at the MCG there was.
So much to look forward to. Alistair Lynch is down on the ground. Come in, Lynchy!
It's a good atmosphere down here. How was that, Huey? It felt like a finals atmosphere.
Yeah, it pretty much was a final for us. We know how important that top 4 spot is, and yeah, we got the crowd into it eventually. I think we kicked a bit inaccurately at the start, so you can sort of feel them getting a bit anxious, but yeah, great finish.
Well, tell us about that. At quarter time, what did Fake say? Because obviously, yeah, those set shots were just going all over the place.
Just to stick to the process, we were doing a lot right. We've had games before where we've missed a lot of opportunities and we've just sort of given up a little bit, whereas tonight I think we just kept fighting and won each quarter.
And they had a real surge in that third term, especially Carl Amon off half-back. Obviously, he would have been a topic of conversation in that three-quarter time address.
Yeah, you know that they like to run and carry, and he's a really good player. They've got so much speed on the outside, so we had to try to do our best to stop it. They're going to get through every now and then, but I think we stopped enough.
A man who had a bit of impact there late and had a shot for goal late, Big Rebel. I mean, he's absolutely flying, Brucey, isn't he?
Yeah, he's doing really well. So proud of our group. Like, we've got probably 6-7 players that will be under 50 games. For them to be able to come in when we need them with, you know, injuries to Lockie and Bez is amazing, and it's a testament to the program we've got and those young boys as well.
Well, tell us about that. How proud are you of the club? Top 4 after, at times, just struggling through the year, and obviously, as you said, a number of injuries now.
Yeah, we had a really tough draw. We've had injuries, a lot of adversity, but I think we pride ourselves on that as a group, being able to bounce back from adversity. We did it last year when we were struggling halfway through the season, and again this year we just keep fighting, and hopefully we can keep doing that through the final series.
As you said, a few of the youngsters are really filling the void beautifully. What about a few of the old guys? Dane Zorko has been a lot of focus on him during the week, 300 games, and just keeps raising the bar.
Yeah, he doesn't look like slowing down anytime soon. He's just such a competitive bloke, and I think that's what separates him from the rest. He hates losing. He can get a little bit angry at times, but that's because he cares and he's passionate. And yeah, I owe a lot to him because he's taught me so much through my time here, and yeah, he's really held this club together.
And game 250 to Charlie Cameron, you must love, who is it, John Denver now?
Yeah, Country Roads. Yeah, when Charlie's up and going, there's nothing like it at the Gabba, and he's one of the big reasons why we're selling this place out nearly every week, which is amazing.
Well, congratulations on the win, your performance. You might have a busy week, and I reckon all Australians, surely. Congratulations.
Thanks, Lynchy.
Hard to go past Hugh McCluggage for best on ground. These are the massive moments in the last quarter. Darcy Wilmot was outstanding. Tackle pressure from the Lions was there all night. Ginnivan went back, brought it to within 2 points, turned to the crowd, ripped his jumper open like he was Superman. And the Hawks were hanging in there. Closing moments, aim on. Was this insufficient intent? It will be debated left, right and centre. And Brucey Rebel took full advantage, bending it around the corner. And then this was a knockout blow. Rayner kicked a big one on half-time. And within the shadows of the siren, Rayner finished. The Hawks came late through Watson, but it was too little too late, in a stunning game of football. Brisbane by 10 points. It was everything we were hoping for, Nathan Buckley. And from what you saw here tonight, Brisbane were the deserved winners.
Yeah, they were. They just weren't able to hit the scoreboard early. But having said that, when Hawthorn were excellent, they definitely didn't lower their colours. I think the Hawthorn fans at home would be lamenting a couple of momentum changing decisions that were the umpiring decision to aim on in the pocket there. That'll be one that will sit with them for a little bit, because Bruce Revel was able to go and kick the goal after that, and then they got a centre bounce goal. But I think for the most part they had more inside 50s. I thought that Dunkley, McCluggage and Ashcroft, they got to work after quarter time, because the Hawks at 3-3 to 0-8 at quarter time, but they looked like they had the game on their terms, even though the Lions hadn't kicked straight. But Dunkley was huge in that second quarter and really took the game into contest, was able to use his big body, and Hugh McCluggage, Ashcroft got in behind him, and they just ground the Hawks out.
Dane Zorko, what a way to bring in his 300th game. So everyone's on the live ladder at the moment. So the Suns, if they beat Essendon by, well, we don't have the figures here, but they can easily slip ahead of the Hawks on percentage, which would push the Hawks down to 8.
Do we know that
and the Suns into 7?
If the Giants are playing a home game, is that the SCG or NG?
We'll get back to that as we salute Dane Zorko, 5-time best and fairest, 2-time All-Australian, and a premiership player here in Brisbane.
Nothing like celebrating a milestone game with a win too, especially in a big game. He'd be pumped and really proud of himself, his club, his teammates, what they're able to do. They've positioned themselves really well. Get a double chance. They get that repeat crack at Geelong from that fantastic prelim final from last year. So it whets the appetite, doesn't it?
Well, Sam Mitchell's trying to digest it all. I don't quite know who his Hawks will play yet. Look at Charlie Cameron, the king of Country Road, 250. And Nathan, as we like to say, you and I, he's a bums on seats man, Charlie Cameron. He kicked a couple tonight. So the Lions will have a spell, and then they'll take on Geelong, did we say?
Yep. At the
MCG.
And it looks like the GWS game would be at NG if the Hawks are there. Otherwise, they're going to Optus to play Freo. So we wait for Wednesday to see how the bottom half of the 8 turns out.
And the Bulldogs, who lost today, need to wait till Wednesday night.
Yeah, it's uncomfortable.
For the greatest of Hail Marys.
There's no better feeling than walking down after a hard-earned, contested game of footy. And the Lions, they've had a lot of success, as Hugh McCluggage just spoke to Lynchy then. It's just so we back ourselves here to keep going, keep working, get our hands dirty, be prepared to face the challenges that are thrown at them. And Hawthorn threw a massive challenge at the Lions this evening.
Well, don't go anywhere, because the blokes with 6 premierships between them for Brisbane, Brown and Lynch, are heading into the rooms. They may get in the circle, Bucks. Who would know with those two? But we'll get all the interviews and the wash-up before first crack.
There was a little bit of barracking happening from up here, so I'm pretty sure Brownie enjoyed being in there.
What a great game of footy. And the premiership defence is well and truly alive. Hawks by 13 at quarter time, Brisbane 5 at half time, Brisbane by 11 at 3/4 time. Hawthorn got within 2 points with a Ginnivan goal, but Brisbane steady to win by 10 points. And looks like Ty Gallop in game 2 has got his first win, and what a win it is. Here's the Lions, 16th win of the season. They finish 3rd, and they take on the Cats. Concerns this year, Nathan. They've lost some big-name players. Done it tonight without Lockie Neal and Eric Hickwood. Jono tells us that Lockie will be back for the first final and Eric potentially for a second. They've lost defenders, but they're right in the mix once again.
Yeah, a lot of young players stood up and played important roles. I thought Rayner was excellent. Didn't have a touch in the first quarter, 22 in the last 3 for a couple of goals too. They just keep having players that stand up and do what they need to do when it needs to be done.
Let's go down into the rooms to Smiling Banana 1 and Smiling Banana 2. We've got Lynch and Brown there. Have a look at these two.
You can't tell the Hawthorn supporter up there, can you?
no, he's a little bit flat, but no, great atmosphere down here. Fair to say, all the players are pumped, and Dane Zorko and Charlie Cameron enjoying what is a magnificent milestone for them.
Yeah, he's great, and milestone. You know, they're made even better, aren't they, if you have a good win. And a win like that, it was a finals-type atmosphere, wasn't it? Obviously, it had finals implications. They go into the top 4 now. They deserve it. On the road, backs the wall this year. Many times they've been able to fight back, and felt as if tonight, early in the last quarter, they're going to get run over, and they responded again.
Yeah, as you said, you want a win on your milestone. I think Dane Zorko's last milestone, 250, was in the 2023 grand final.
Yeah,
obviously lost that one. But we talk about some of the older players that played well. What about some of these young stars? Darcy Wilmot doesn't miss a beat. I mean, the way he's evolving, he's just developing into a class halfback.
Yeah, he's a ripper. He was sensational tonight. And he keeps attacking the play, doesn't he? Keeps attacking even in those pressure moments. So the younger players have just kept growing each year. This year, Fletcher's gone to another level as well. Obviously, Kai Lehman comes back into the team. So, and Bruce Rebel, you know, he hasn't played many games. He kicks a really important goal in that last quarter.
Well, I'll tell you what, we might get in, just a little coach. Chris, jump in the middle here, mate. Congratulations.
You look like I'm about 3 foot tall.
No, you're not real big, but congratulations on what was a fantastic game. You had to weather the storm early and a few inaccurate shots, but a great win in the end.
Yeah, it was a great win. I thought we just kept our cool. I mean, we missed so many shots, and that could have been disheartening in a way, but we just kept at it, and we just did so well at the contest and with our pressure for most of the night. And yeah, after a bit of a slow start, I thought it was a great effort.
Well, how did you address it at quarter time? Because, as you said, players can get concerned about the misses.
What I talked about at quarter time is we did a lot of things right. So hopefully the accuracy will correct itself. It sort of did in the second quarter. I think we were pretty inaccurate again in the third, but anyway, we won by what? 11 points, and we had 11 more shots. I thought we played great tonight, actually.
Darcy was a star. What did Darcy Wilmot have a look at?
He always does that.
He keeps putting his finger in your ear.
He does that every time.
Have a look.
You've got to give him a clip. But tell us about his development. I mean, over the last 4 years, he's just keeps steadily improving.
He's an awesome player, isn't he? Like his ability to read the play, intercept, start the counter attack from the back end of the ground. We're so lucky to have him. I looked at our team tonight. We had 9 players 22 years of age or younger. We had a young team in tonight in a big game, and I thought they stood up well.
Brucey stood up and kicked that really important goal. It felt like Hawthorne had some energy at that stage.
Yeah, that was outstanding, wasn't it? I think he's probably not going to kick it because we couldn't kick anything tonight. From the boundary, no pressure from the boundary. So he's supposed to miss those ones.
That's right.
Yeah.
What were you saying to the boys? We've got vision of you. You're on the bench there, obviously in the last quarter, just talking to the boys. And what was the main message?
Just staying positive with them, to be honest, Brownie. It was a high-pressure game. It was a high-stakes game. Just wanted to keep confidence up. That's all.
What about on the siren? How good was it? How emotional was it for you?
It was big because it's been a tough year for us. We've had a tough draw. We've had quite a few injuries. So to be in the position now where we've got a double chance, I think it's probably been our best home and away season. I know we won the flag last year, but we had a great finals month. Not such a good home and away. I think this year's been outstanding, some of the wins that we've had.
Yeah, what is it about this group? Yeah, because every time you've been doubted or it's been backs to the wall for the Lions, they've responded, especially on the road.
It's true. I think we're 9 wins, a draw and 1 loss on the interstate this year, which is, I think, the best the club's ever done. I don't know. I feel like maybe they just like a challenge. Get in a deep, dark hole and claw your way out. But we've been able to do that this year on a number of occasions. And, you know, some of our wins, like last week over in Perth and down at Geelong and Collingwood at the G, been awesome.
We speak of the likes of Darcy Wilmot and Fletcher and the youngsters that evolve and have come through. Tell us a little about what do you think each week when you put the magnet of Ryan Lester up on the board?
I smile. I mean, I remember when I first got here, his magnet didn't go up very often.
Near went off a couple of times, didn't it?
Yeah, it nearly did. And then, you know, as he's gotten older and he's found his position in the back line, he's first back up every week. And I thought when we lost to Sydney here by a couple of points, we really missed him and Starcevic in that game. And just a couple of his efforts tonight. And You know, he turned up like the librarian in the goal square last week.
He did too, didn't he?
And tackled the Tracy. So, no, he's a marvel, and he's such a loved character at our club. And he's trying to work out whether he plays on or not next year. He should play on. There's no reason why he
He's offering him another 1-year contract.
I think so.
He'll be right,
It'll be about his 8th or 9th in a row.
Absolutely. Cam Rayner, he's been the match winner several times this year, and certainly imposed himself on the contest in second halves.
He has. He's a bit quiet in the first quarter. Started to rev up a bit in the second, but his second half was awesome for us. And I think that's the thing about Cam. A few years back, he would have started poorly and had a poor game. Now he knows he can turn it around at any given stage. So great leadership by him.
What about this man, Dane Zorga? Tink,
Jump in here.
come over here, mate. Take over the interview. What about this man? What about this man? No, you can say. I want you to tell us what you think about this man.
Oh, me about Fagan.
What do you think, Chris Fagan, about this man?
I haven't got half an hour, so I've got to be quick. I love him to death. He's been so important to our footy club. When he took over as captain, he helped me enormously and the coaches to get a really positive mindset around the footy club. I'm so glad he got to be a premiership player last year. That was the highlight for me. He's just done so much for us, and he's a great example to any young kid out there. You might not get drafted when you're 18. You might go when you're 21, 22. Get a chip on your shoulder and prove everybody wrong for the rest of your life, and that's what he's done.
You have done that, mate.
Fantastic.
You did come in with a chip on your shoulder. 2012 when we started playing with you. You've had an amazing career, mate. That's topped off with a great win tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they're very kind words from Fags, but that's always stuck with you, Johnny. I remember it was the last, sort of our last meeting before we left at the end of 2012, and you said, do not let that chip come off your shoulder, and I don't think I have yet. You've come a long way, haven't you? Even got your own beer label.
Impressive.
Special time. Yeah, Forex have been a huge sponsor of the club, but a huge supporter of mine as well, and to do a little gesture like this tonight is unbelievable. So we're just chatting with Fags about some of the youngsters that are evolving and the willingness of a Darcy Wilmot to just keep stepping up. Obviously, great leadership from yourself. Yeah. I think what myself, Harris and Ryan and even Darcy and Starcevich do now is provide real clarity for those boys. They make mistakes, so be it, but we want them to keep taking the game on. They're so strong in that area, and not only are they so good defensively, Darcy and Fletch, but their ability to win their own ball and then really rebounds enormous. So we just give them a green light to do that. Harris cleans it all up for us at the back end if we stuff up, but that's a connection that we've sort of got going at the moment.
I asked Fags about this same question. What is it about this group that every time you've been doubted, every time you've been backs to the wall, you guys have responded?
Oh, just big tickers, I reckon. I don't really know what to say, but I reckon,
say great coaching.
Yeah, I will say this. I mean, at times through the last 24 months, the trust that Fags has put in us as a playing group to bounce back and get a result, the loyalty's been enormous, and I'd like to think that we've given him the answers every single time. So a lot of it does come back down to the coaching and his ability to just get us to focus on things and go out and execute them is second to none. But the relationships that he builds allows us to do that. So he's enormous in all of that. Well, I reckon thanks and congratulations to you both. Top four, another final series, 300 games, outstanding. Well done.
Cheers, guys.
Thanks for your time. I'll better throw back up to you, Howie, because I think Brownie's taking that frothy off Dane and might consume it shortly. But great atmosphere down here. Another final series for the Brisbane Lions.
Well done. Great interviews with.
All right, folks, there we go. Looks like the Hawks will be playing GWS at their home. It could be. You just never know. That's just another quick look at the ladder there. We got Hawthorn there in 7th. As I said, it's either going to be the Western Bulldogs there or the Gold Coast. If the Gold Coast Suns win, the Gold Coast should jump up to 7th and Hawthorn down to 8th. So, but you just never know. You just never know. Essendon might come out and do an upset over the Gold Coast. Wouldn't surprise me. But there you go. But yeah, most likely, as you say, GWS should play Gold Coast. That'll be a fantastic, interesting game. All right, folks. Hey, thanks all for tuning on into today's coverage. All the games today. Don't forget just to wrap up the important games throughout the week this on the last round. Collingwood defeated Melbourne. Gold Coast got defeated by Port Adelaide. There we go. Adelaide beat North Melbourne. Geelong beat Richmond. GWS got over the line just to St Kilda. Fremantle had a fantastic win over the Bulldogs. And, of course, tonight, Brisbane Lions too strong for the Hawks. Don't forget, the final game for the home and away season comes up Wednesday night, 7:20 p.m. That's the Gold Coast taking on Essendon. Then we'll find out who is going to fill that final spot in the top 8, or is the final 8 already set? It's going to be interesting. Watch and wait. All right, folks. Hey, thanks all for tuning on in. We'll be back on Wednesday for that game. Should be fantastic. Be interesting game to watch. Hopefully that's a tight game. Make a few people sweat out there. Maybe the Western Bulldogs players, etc. like that. Should be interesting. But anyway, that is all I've got for. We did get the poll wrong in today's chat. We had Hawthorn just by 54%, 46% to the Brisbane Lions. So it was a pretty tight game all the way around. It was a hard decision to make. Tell you what, even within 10 minutes to go, it was still hard to pick who was going to win this game today. All right, folks, thanks again, as I said, for tuning on in. It was a great weekend of football. And, of course, the final game comes up on Wednesday. So we will see you then. And then, of course, we've got the week off next weekend. And then the finals start the weekend after that. Could be possibly a Thursday night, Friday night, one of those nights when the finals will come. I think all the finals will be in place. We'll know where they're playing, what time they're playing on Wednesday after the final game. So all that should be there and ready to go. And we'll certainly cover the finals games. They're going to be absolutely fantastic and exciting. Of course, we've got a lot of good teams in there, all in reasonably good form. So it's going to be fascinating final series this year, 2025. Still struggling to pick who's going to win the grand final. Tell you what, it's up for grabs this year. It's certainly up for grabs. All right, folks, I'm out of here. Thanks, everyone, for tuning on in, sticking around for the coverage of all this weekend's games. Always appreciate having your company in here and having a little bit of a chat on footy in the chat. Always good to see you there. All right, folks, until Wednesday, I'm out of here. So ciao for now. We'll see you at the next game.